Welcome to the Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Taft. This podcast is the full show from today's episode of Undisputed from start to finish. They've got a busy slate, so skip Shannon. Let's get to it.
Welcome to Undisputed. We are live from Los Angeles. I'm Jenny Taft here with Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharpe. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Jenny. How you doing?
The Clippers won the NBA championship last night.
Really?
Lakers won it the night before, but
They're
the Clippers, they won it right back.
Yeah, guess what? The player that somebody said should have been Western Conference Player of the Month had 14.
Yeah,
14 points.
But he said, I'm going to play LeBron tonight, so I'll
that?
just distribute. I'll have 9 assists.
Oh, we did that.
Had more.
You remember what we did?
Yeah.
We had 9 assists like it was nothing. Wave to the crowd. All right, that's it.
Clippers got this.
No, they don't. No, they don't.
We have so much more there to get into. We have a jam-packed show today with the NBA trade deadline just about 5 hours away. What can we expect from the Lakers and the Clippers, and what should the Cowboys do if they cannot get a deal done
I got a new plan.
with Dak Prescott? But first, we have to talk about the 49ers who partied all night after their Super Bowl loss, where Lil Wayne performed a private concert for them. And I'm hearing, Skip,
yes, ma'am,
that you had an interesting exchange with Wayne
did.
about this, so tell us everything.
I will. So, my friend Lil Wayne texted me yesterday to alert me to this situation. And Wayne made it clear that we here on Undisputed were open to talk about it. He had no problem with us discussing what he texted me. He said the 49ers booked him to play at their party, which happened right after Sunday night Super Bowl in Miami. And obviously, Wayne lives in Miami. We had him on final hour of our show on Friday. He said they booked him at full price, paid in full before, to play a full show, just so we know what the lay of the land was.
Okay.
TMZ reported that it turned into a quote-unquote all-outrager that was lit. Okay, great. But Wayne said he stopped the show at least 3 times that he could recall to sort of half-jokingly make sure that everybody in the crowd knew, you guys just lost the Super Bowl. Are you okay with me continuing? And he said they would scream that they were more than okay, and most of them were players and family members, right? This was a private party for the 49ers. So Wayne said in his text to me that he was shocked by the 49ers' reaction to this because obviously they had just lost a Super Bowl. They were in position to win. You would agree with that, right?
Correct.
So it wasn't like they just got blown out 49-0. They had a real shot to win this one. So his text continued to me. The 49ers clearly had a, quote, let's not worry too much about it, unquote, attitude about the game. They truly believe they'll be back next year. The confidence, it was scary. And Wayne continued, I also got to speak to Kyle, as in Shanahan, one-on-one, and you could see he wasn't hurt or upset. He was mad as hell. And that's the energy of someone who feels like Super Bowl 55 is going to be marked on a calendar that's posted on his bedroom ceiling, so it's the last thought before he goes to sleep and the first sight when he wakes up. Okay, fine. So yesterday, Wayne was hearing a lot of negativity, that a lot of people were not real happy with the 49ers partying after they lost a Super Bowl. So I'm going to give you, the Hall of Famer, the first crack at this, and you obviously played in 3 Super Bowls, but you won all 3. But you did lose 5 playoff games in your career, so you know the feeling of what it feels like to have your season, boom, ended when you don't expect it to be ended like that.
Correct.
So do you, Shannon Sharpe, have a problem with the 49ers partying after losing a Super Bowl?
I don't, Skip, because people process losses differently. Now, that's not what I would have done. Now, had that been me, had I been on the losing side, now, we didn't have entertainment like that. We just had our first Super Bowl in San Diego. Mike hired a DJ, so everybody was there.
Shanahan,
Mike Shanahan,
father.
Her father, who was the head coach at the time. So we had a DJ, we had a big old party.
All right.
So we came back and everybody was having a good time.
Okay, so what if you had lost? Would the DJ have been...
I would have kidded, no. It was going on because he's already, like Wayne said, they had already paid in full. I would have kissed my kids, hugged my mom, hugged my sister, told my girlfriend. At the time, I had a girlfriend at all 3 of them. I said, now, if you want to stay, y'all welcome to stay. but I'm going to my room. Skip, I don't do well with losing. I don't handle losing well. And especially, I sacrifice so much. I miss football games. I miss recitals, the way I ate, the way I trained. I didn't go on vacation. I would have felt all that was for naught. So I couldn't do it. Now, I get it, Skip, because we've seen situations where people are getting married, Jenny, and there's a big old reception, and all of a sudden one of the parties backed out and says, I don't want to get married. Well, hell, I don't pay for all this. Somebody go eat this food. That's the way they look at it. Skip, just because some people handle losses differently than what Shannon did, that doesn't mean they didn't care more or less than I cared during the course of the game. But I just didn't want to be around people. Now, I played, Skip, and we've lost regular season game, and guys are keying and joking, and I'm like, what the hell? Y'all do realize we just got beat, right?
Yep.
And you cool with that?
Yeah.
But, Skip, I had to learn. Man, look here. Everybody's not going to treat it like you. That's why everybody doesn't have the level of success. But I'm a firm believer, Skip, the more invested you are in a game, the more it hurts. And you lose, it hurts. So, Skip, I don't have a problem because they've already paid Lil Wayne full price. So they're there now. I wouldn't have done it. I couldn't. I know me, Skip. I'm going to my room, and I don't want to talk. I'm not going to talk to my homeboys. I'm not going to talk to my closest teammates. I'm going to my room, and I'm going to think, damn, we just lost the Super Bowl. What could I have done differently? Did I prepare well enough? Damn, if I just caught that one pass, that would have been Q3rd. All that goes through my head.
I got you. I hear you.
So, Skip, I'm not going to sit here and I'm not going to sit here and judge them and say, well, they're doing all that. They cared more about going to the concert afterwards than they cared about the game, because that's not fair. I don't know what's in a man's heart. I just know I wouldn't have done it. But I also know that's probably different than Mike Shanahan would have done it, because Kyle's father, he took losing hard. He wanted you to take losing hard. All that keying and joking and carrying on, he wasn't about that. And he wanted you to feel that. I mean, Wednesday was tough. I mean, you lost the game on Sunday. Wednesday, you knew that he was on edge. He didn't take losing kindly. In that game, Skip, that's the game of games. And to lose that one, Skip, I get it. There's a lot to look forward to. They're a fairly young football team. I still believe Jimmy G is on the rise. If they're going to sign Emmanuel back and get a couple of guys back, add a few pieces, Skip, I think they'll be right back in that position. But it's easy from the outside looking in and says, oh, man, they should have done it like this. They should have just canceled the party. But when you spend $500,000 or $1 million, whatever it takes to book Wayne, what are you going to do? You might as well just go ahead and get the most out of it that you possibly can. But I wouldn't have gone. I couldn't have gone.
Nor would I have gone. So, just for the record, Kyle Shanahan is the biggest Lil Wayne fan.
Yes.
He has been for years and years.
He named his son after Wayne.
His son is now about 10 years old. I'm not sure exactly where
about the age I've known Kyle
They've
Shanahan.
been very good friends.
So Dwayne Michael Carter Jr., he named his son Carter.
Okay.
It's a cool name.
Yeah.
And I know Wayne got wind of this 2 years ago and sent sort of a package of posters and albums he signed for both the son and the father.
Right.
So I get all that. And this was the first time Kyle actually got to sit with Wayne and talk to him. But it's just the wrong place and the wrong time. And I assume Kyle was the driving force behind booking Wayne, paying full price.
Right.
And it was reported by TMZ that the York family, who owns the team, they were sitting in the front row at the Raging Rage concert, right?
We don't pay for it. We might well enjoy this.
Okay.
God.
This is just me. If I owned that team and I had to make plans for a post-Super Bowl party, I would have paid Wayne in full. I would have sent him his check because I could afford it if I owned that team, right?
You can afford to own any team, but
that
you
is
definitely
correct.
own that one.
That one. And yet I would have made it contingent upon we win the game.
Right.
I would make it clear if we lose, it's off.
You ain't gonna feed them either way. I mean, what you gonna do?
No, not the party.
Oh, okay.
Because the point of the party is
It's a celebration.
But no, it's a convenience because everybody's got their family there.
Yes.
And you don't want to send everybody out into the night looking for a restaurant after the Super Bowl because you're going to have a hard time getting in one, right? Because everybody's out in restaurants.
Skip, you say that. I remember the first Super Bowl in San Diego. Mike had the DJ. We having a good old time. But after a while, I'm like, Man, ain't nothing here but family, man. I don't want to stay here anymore. Skip, we go out, me and about 5 or 6 guys, we go out to a club, and guess who we see? The Packers.
Oh, great.
They out celebrating, too. I'm like, well, I'm thinking to myself, what the hell y'all doing out? Ain't nobody going to tell you. Ain't nobody going to tell y'all, congratulations. We just beat you.
Okay. So the point of a post-Super Bowl party is to have a convenient place for family to gather.
Right, correct.
And what I would have a buffet.
Right.
If you feel like eating, you can go pick at it if you want, or you can eat full, whatever you will feel like doing. But this is a place that we will commiserate if we lose. Because I know how I feel. If this show has an off rating one day, I'm not fun to live with for Ernestine the rest of that night. And if we have a big rating, it's like on to the next day. Yeah. We've had a lot of big ratings. Thank you very much.
I don't want any more bad ratings for Ernestine's sake.
That's very true. Bad ratings. Ooh.
Jeez.
Not even bad, just a little off.
Okay.
So to me, I cannot identify with players celebrating and participating full on into Lil Wayne. And I love to watch him. I love to listen to him.
Yeah.
We get that. It's just the wrong place, wrong time for the way I'm put together, the way you're put together. And it's not the greatest look because you did get to 3 of these and you were blessed to win 3 of these. It's hard, man.
It is.
I know how hard it is because I've been doing this for so long. It's just hard to get to 1.
It is.
I know too many players who never got to 1. I know way too many coaches who never even sniffed 1. And when you get to 1, you have to embrace it. And if you lose it the way they lost it, you have to let it hurt because it's what propels you. I'll never forget. I was down on the field at Candlestick when the Dallas Cowboys lost the NFC Championship game to Steve Young. And this is the next one. I'm going the next generation.
You're talking about 94.
And this is the one that interrupted what should have been 4 in a row because Jerry had fired Jimmy Johnson after 2 straight. And Barry Switzer's first year, remember we had Dion and Michael on the other day. It was the uncalled pass interference.
The armbar.
It should have been called. And Barry Switzer was so irate about it, he ran onto the field and got a 15-yard penalty on top of not getting that call.
Right.
So it goes backward 15 yards and the game was over after a miraculous rally staged by the Dallas Cowboys. And when it ended, I was on the sideline. It's muddy and bloody. It's just it's a horrible place, but I loved it anyway. It's just spooky. But so we're walking off Candlestick, and I'm tiptoeing through the mud puddles. And Nate Newton turned around. He was right in front of me. He turned to everybody behind him, and he said, I want everybody to remember what this feels like right now because we're going to get back next year. But he didn't want to go party that night. He wanted everybody to ache over what had just happened, and it propelled them the next year to go to Phoenix and win the Super Bowl over Pittsburgh.
Skip, I remember in 2000 with the Ravens, we beat the Giants. And I remember we're leaving that Monday morning. We're basically leaving at the same time. So we're pulling up at the tarmac. They're on their plane, obviously there, then we're on ours. And I just remember looking out the window, looking at them. And I saw the angst, and I saw the anguish, and I saw the hurt on their face. That was 24 hours afterwards. I can imagine when that wound is fresh, when the emotion is really raw, that you just got, and they got pummeled. It wasn't Skip, it wasn't no, they had a chance to win. They just got dismantled. And I saw the look on their face, and I'm like, man, I never want to feel that. I really couldn't eat, win or lose. Skip, I think maybe in 14 years of playing, I think I might have went out after the game, after winning, maybe 5 or 6 times. I never went out after a loss. I don't want nobody to see me.
No.
What? I'm a loser. Nah, you don't need to see me. I don't want to hear nothing. I don't want to hear you played a good game. We'll get them next time. I'm going home and be miserable by myself.
All right, and I don't want to hear nothing about kids are different today.
No, they're not.
The game is the same. The circumstance is the same. Nothing changes, just the way you approach it.
Correct.
And if you're celebrating it, you're approaching it wrong.
Right.
It's not going to serve you well going forward. And now back to Kyle Shanahan. You watched him grow up. Whether he likes it or not, on his resume right now is he's been in 2 Super Bowls and he's blown both of them. That's a horrendous legacy.
Yep.
And this one, to me, was much worse than the Atlanta one because we went back and forth about this. At least he put the ball in the hands of the MVP of the NFL, Matt Ryan.
Right.
This time he put the ball in the hands of Jimmy Garoppolo, and none of us quite trusted him to start with. And it was just a bad idea on top of another bad idea to go celebrate with Lil Wayne at a rager, right?
Right.
So, to me, and I get Wayne, and I appreciate all the insight from him.
Yeah, very true.
But he said Kyle wasn't devastated, he was angry. Well, I would be devastated. I would be third guessing, fourth guessing, 19th guessing every move that I had just made.
Yeah, of course.
Where did I go wrong? What should I have done? I would be so distraught. I think I'd need to be just with my wife alone, or maybe just by myself alone.
I'm probably going to go shut that one down.
Okay.
Skip, I remember in 91, I dropped a touchdown in the south end zone that would have given us home field advantage throughout the playoffs.
I remember, yeah.
And we ended up having to go to Buffalo, and we lost that game 10-7. And I remember dropping that and driving home, and I cried all the way home. And I got home, and I called my brother. He's like, bro, what's going on? And I was just crying. He's like, man, what you crying for? I said, man, I dropped a touchdown. I said, it's like, bro, it's not the end of the world. I said, yes, it is. I said, cause Skip, I had never been in that situation where I've actually felt that I cost my team a game. Because all through junior high and high school and college, I'm the guy, I'll always come up. And for the first time, I honestly felt that I let my teammates down, that I cost us a ball game. And I couldn't get over that. I can't imagine losing the Super Bowl. What are we, like I said, me. I get it. You know, Lil Wayne's already there. We've already booked it. Family, friends, relatives, all that in attendance. Okay, I get all that. I'm just saying, me, Skip, I couldn't do it. Now, I'm not judging any of those guys because, hey, that doesn't mean they didn't care. They didn't try their best, but I just know me. I don't do well with losing. I mean, LeBron, my sister, she Skip, LeBron will lose. My sister be in the bed asleep. If she'll wake up, I know you ain't gonna sleep tonight. Your precious loss. I said, Libby, don't call me with this bull jive. It's 1 o'clock in the morning there, Skip. And she'll call me because she knows how I am. I've always been this way.
And you can't sleep.
She's rubbing it in.
Yeah, she is. My brother would beat me. We playing up. I would take the ball, throw it in the hog pen, throw it in the woods. And my grandma said, you better go get that ball. I'm going to cut your... So I've always been a sore loser. And nothing changed. The stakes are bigger. I'm grown. You know, if you as a kid, you're like, okay, he's a child. And I get it, but no, I wouldn't have gone, Skip. And all those, I would not have judged any one of those guys. Hopefully they look at it as like, you know what? Next year, we're going to get back. We're going to have another celebration that's going to be bigger, and we're going to be victorious. Hopefully they use that as motivation. But I couldn't have gone.
Well, my 2 cents is to become a winner, you have to embrace the losing. You have to take hold of it and internalize it and turn it around and around in your gut until you finally make peace with, oh, this is how I can correct it.
Right.
And you can't laugh it off. You can't dismiss it. You can't ignore it because if you do, you're going to lose again. That's just me.
Yeah, I couldn't.
How long would it take you to get over a loss like that? If you said you would have gone home, not seen your family, just in general, do you give yourself the night?
I lost in 97 to the Jags. And what is it now, Skip, 2020? I ain't over it.
Well, you bring it up like every 3 weeks on the show.
I'm not over it.
Mark Brunell.
Yeah, I'm not over it. I mean, sometimes I find myself like me and my homeboy, I tear up thinking about like.
You lost at home. To a Jaguars. I don't know
over that. No.
I don't know how big a favorite you were in that game, but you were a big favorite.
But no, I'm never getting over that. And to lose the Super Bowl, that was just the divisional round. To lose the final game that gets chronicled. Look, obviously all playoff games mean significance. Obviously, and the further you go, the more at stake it is. But I don't know how. I don't know if I could have gotten over it. And to be a reason to drop a pass that would have given us a first down or a touchdown. To lose that one. I dropped a touchdown in 91, and I still remember the play.
So I hope Lil Wayne is right, that they just have supreme confidence that will propel them through next year. I hope for the 49ers' sake he's right, that they're just saying, we got this. We'll be back next year.
Skip, it's not that easy.
It is not easy.
I mean, think about it. We lost the divisional, and we were bringing back John, TD, myself, Ed, Rod. The defense pretty much was coming back intact. There was no guarantee. We went 13-3. There's no. People think that, okay, they'll just pick right up where they left off. That the 49ers are going to get all the way, okay, Super Bowl 55, the 49ers are there. They're going to pick up, start the game over. No. You got to start week 1.
What happened to the Rams last year?
Yes.
Right? Interesting.
It's hard. It's really hard for the loser. I mean, the Patriots, got back and won it. But you normally
Patriots are the anomaly.
Yes.
Usually it goes the other way.
Yes.
What happened to the Seahawks after that fateful last play of the game against Brady and company? What happened?
They were never the same.
They were never the same.
And they might not ever get back. And guess what? Those players are going to look back and think, we had an opportunity.
Yep. What happened to the Atlanta Falcons after they blew a 28-3 lead? What's happened?
They ain't sniffed the playoffs.
They haven't sniffed. They haven't been
good.
remotely the same as what they were. And I could go on and on back through history.
Yep.
Because the magnitude of losing this game is on the Richter scale. It just shakes up the whole franchise.
It takes something out of you.
Yeah. Well, for their sake, I hope they just had a good time and they're on to next year and they'll just go right back.
It's interesting.
I'm going to have to see Lil Wayne in Vegas or somewhere. He somewhere close, but I ain't going to this one.
The idea of
Good
Wade
point.
stopping the concert, hey, reminder, you guys lost.
He
this
did it.
thing.
He
That's
said it was
crazy
kind of like
to me.
half joking.
Yeah,
Like, hey,
I get it.
You guys get it, don't you? You lost. Are you okay?
So,
Yeah, we're great.
Maybe the alcohol has started flowing by the end, Skip.
maybe.
So that thing, the alcohol,
Well, what's the saying? Win or lose, you booze. I've heard that my whole life. You hear that in sports. Who knows? Okay. The NBA trade deadline is at 3 Eastern today, and the Lakers and Clippers have reportedly been in a, quote, arms race. Both teams were interested in Andre Iguodala, but the Heat swooped in last night to get the former Finals MVP from the Grizzlies. Miami is also expected to add Danilo Gallinari from the Thunder. So, Shannon, how big of a threat does this make the Heat in the East?
They're not a threat. Now, it keeps them maybe from playing the Bucks, maybe skipping the second round.
Maybe.
That's about it. The Bucks are clearly head and shoulders above everybody in the East. Then you throw in Toronto and the Celtics.
Yeah.
So right now, as it currently sits, even with Iggy, they're the fourth best team. Now, maybe if they get Gallinari, Skip, it bumps them up and you avoid. Basically, what they're hoping for is to avoid the Milwaukee Bucks into the Eastern Conference Finals. That's all you can hope for. And I still don't think, I don't think they can, even if they got Gallinari, I don't think they can beat them. They have no answer for Giannis. Now, the Heat remind me of a college team because they play 2-3 zone like Syracuse, Skip. They'll jump in that zone quicker than anybody in the NBA. And I guess it serves them well. They got a, when you look at them, they got a big, they shoot a bunch of threes. Jimmy got hurt last night, so we'll see how that plays out. But I don't see them as a threat, and I don't think they're getting Finals MVP, Iggy. And plus, he hadn't played all year. It seemed like last year during the regular season, Skip, that Iggy was on his last leg, and then he got a little boost a couple of games in the playoffs. He only averaged 5 points in about 20, 21 minutes last year. That uptick, played a little bit more, got to 10 in the playoffs. But I don't know what Iggy they think they're getting.
Yep.
They do realize Iggy like in year 13, 14? So you're not getting year 8, year 9 Iggy. Skip, I don't really think it moves the needle that much for me. They're not a major player. Do I think all of a sudden now, man, they right there with the Bucks or they right with the Celtics? I don't see it.
So I hope your man LeBron will forgive me for this, but I love Pat Riley. I know he and LeBron got a little crossways in the end in Miami.
No, he got crossway with Bron.
Okay, either way you want to look at it. They clashed, the two of them. And Maverick Carter and others clashed with him over how they... Access. That's a good way to put it, over access. And yet, and still, when LeBron left and Dwayne got old, it left Pat Riley pretty high and dry, low and dry in Miami, right?
Yep.
Maybe low and wet in Miami. And the point was that he has been flailing and scrambling ever since. And now he is all in on flailing and scrambling. He's going to try anything in his power to produce a credible playoff contender.
Right.
And he obviously has made his team even better than it is. And it's 34-16, which is that's pretty great, right?
Yeah.
Would you say they're the surprise of the league? You'd probably say that, right?
Them in Memphis.
Okay, so as we speak, they're 9 back in Milwaukee, but Milwaukee's 43-7. I mean, we just sort of ignore them, but they're a dynamo right now, right?
Yes.
And Miami sits 2.5 back of Toronto for second and 1 back of Boston for third. So they're still hanging right in there. And to your point, if they could creep up a little bit, they could play Milwaukee maybe in the conference finals, right?
That's what you're trying to avoid.
Okay, I got you. So I was trying to talk myself into he's pulled this off, but all he's done is sort of he's got a B-list big three now, right? Because and it might even be C+ list because you do have Jimmy Butler, and we all love Jimmy.
Right.
But Iguodala and Gallinari are your other two. And by the way, Bam Bam made the All-Star team. Okay. So maybe it's 3.5, big 3.5, right? But then I'm with you. I keep reaching back for the old, the Iguodala of old, not the old Iguodala, because all I can remember from the finals last year was he was just broken down and looked like he was done.
Yes.
Didn't you think he was on his last legs?
Yes.
And so this is all surprising to me that he's the apple of everybody's eye. Right. He's the key piece here.
Lakers wanted him. Clippers wanted him. Everybody wanted him. I'm like, what?
Huh?
Is that KD?
Okay. So he's 36, and last year for Golden State, he averaged 6 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists, which is not bad. He sort of led the shock troops and all that. But back in the day, he could guard LeBron. He could bother LeBron.
We better be careful because, if you say something negative about Iggy, he's a 3-time champ, and we don't want Steph to come for us. But, Steph, what we're just trying to do, we're trying to analyze this trade. We're not taking shots at
It could happen.
Iggy. Because I don't want Steph. Steph got the Twitter fingers.
Social media.
He done got,
Yeah. Now I'm hearing that Iggy doesn't like to be referred to anymore as Iggy.
Really?
He wants to be Iguodala.
Okay.
I like
whatever.
Iggy.
Okay. Steph, your guy Andre Iguodala.
Yeah.
We don't.
I think it's Iguodala.
Iguodala.
That's how I was always taught to say it.
Okay.
And I know him fairly well. He used to come on the old show a lot. He nicknamed me Diabolical Hater, DH. Gave me a T-shirt that said Diabolical Hater one time. But anyway, I love him too. And I hope for his sake that he is a key new piece to this team because he knows how to play basketball and he knows how to win basketball games if his body will allow him to.
I wonder how many people ever called him Iguodala. How many of his teammates?
I don't
know. I guarantee you, Skip, they either refer to him as AI because he was AI with the original AI, Allen Iverson. Remember that they ended up.
But for me, that's offensive because there's just one AI.
I know.
Yeah.
But it's hard for me to believe that they call him Iguodala.
It's just harder to roll off the top.
I think they call him Iggy. But if he wants to be referred to as that, I'll call him whatever he wants to.
Fine.
Iguodala, it is.
Will he change life in Miami? Probably not. Will Gallinari change life in Miami? Maybe, because he's having quietly a monster year. He's averaging 19 and 6 for Oklahoma City, and he is making 41% of his three-point shots. He's shooting 90% from the free throw line. Wow, that's pretty great.
But, Skip, he's so hit and miss. He'll have one of those games, Skip, where he'll go for 30 and 8. And the next game, he'll go for 12 and 2.
Okay. Does he make Miami better? Sure he does. Has Bam made them? Yes, he has made them better. And then I look down the list of scores that they have, and Dragic is still averaging 16, and that Kendrick.
He comes off the bench.
Yeah, and then Kendrick Nunn, they just discovered out of nowhere, undrafted out of Oakland, and he's averaging 16 points. And Tyler Hero, I didn't see him coming, but he was the 13th overall pick, and he's been pretty great so far, right?
Duncan
Robinson out of Michigan is shocking me because he goes out there with a green light and the highest confidence. He will just let it go. He's got some Kuzma in him, actually.
He does.
Okay, so you have the nice makings of a team. But in the end, there's still going to be an also-ran. As much as I root for Pat Riley, and unless he comes down and coaches his team, and
that ain't going to help
it's not going to happen. At one point, LeBron wanted him to coach his team. Remember that in his first year with Coach Spo? So that brings us to the two teams that are going to dominate the postseason conversation, and I think they're both better than Milwaukee, but that's just me, and that's Clippers and Lakers.
Correct.
Which team, in your estimation, needs to make one more move?
I believe it's the Lakers.
Yeah.
Because everybody, and for the Clippers, Skip, they know their roles. They've embraced their roles. Lou Williams, Trez know they're coming off the bench. And you can book them down, basically book them for somewhere between 35 and 40 points a night. They're getting about 50-plus points, bench points a night. You know you got Paul George. So when you get ready to close out a game, they go Paul George, they go Trez, they go Lou Williams, they go Kawhi, and they go Pat Bev. That's it. So we know we got 3 scores. And we got Trez going to chase down everything that comes off the board.
That is
so
true.
we know they got their 3 scores. That's legit. The Lakers are still trying to find that third option. Kuzma played well the other night. Wish he could give us more of that 18 and 12. Maybe not the 12 rebounds, but we can get that consistent shooting. But one game, Skip, he'll give you 25, 29. The next game, he's going to give you 8 and 3. And that's what's concerning for the Lakers because once you get to the playoffs, Skip, you're going to need consistent scoring. I don't have no doubt about AD and LeBron. I know they're going to give us somewhere between 50, 55 points on a nightly basis. But that's not going to be enough, especially with the bench. The Clippers beat you with their bench because if you're ahead, their bench will track you down. Mm-hmm. If they have the lead, their bench will extend that lead. Mm-hmm. And you've got to match that. AD and LeBron can't play 48 minutes in the playoffs, although we would like that. And so until they get that third option, I like, it's been reported that one of the Morris twins, Marcus,
yes,
might be in play. I like him. He's tough. He's going to bring toughness, that Skip. He ain't up for no bull job. I like it. He can hit big shots. He can score. But I believe it's the Lakers. I think the Lakers need to make a move more so than the Clippers.
Yep, I would agree with that. And I also agree Marcus Morris is a difference maker. I don't like him anymore, but I do love him as a player. And the reason I don't like him, I told you yesterday, he had a verbal agreement with the Spurs, and he would have changed them. He would have made them a playoff team. That's how good he is.
That's why they started.
The last second, he said, you know what? I think the Knicks are going to offer me a little more money. And what did Rich Paul say to him? Good night.
Yeah, you can't do that.
You can't do that, and I'm out.
That's why Jen, I don't know if you noticed this, but that's why they started doing contracts. Mm-hmm. Because in the beginning, a contract was a meeting of the mind. Mm-hmm. I'm going to offer you 6 cattle, you give me this. Okay, no problem. But somewhere along the line, people started reneging. Mm-hmm. So I got to get your name on the paper.
Yep.
So we had a verbal agreement, and that's what happened. But I still want him. But you know what? What is it with everybody jilting San Antonio? Something ain't right, Jenny. Because I know another guy that jilted him just a year earlier.
Yeah.
What's happening?
Mm-hmm.
He didn't just jilt. He quit.
No, he jilted.
He quit.
But you like quitters now, huh? Because that's your guy.
Because I loved him before he quit, and now I love him because he jilted LeBron. That's who he jilted. That's who he reneged on.
So you go out there and buy Clippers. You go out there and get a Kawhi jersey. Yeah. You buy the shoes.
I got the shoes.
So now
I don't have them.
No, I was
the man that left you high and dry, that you believe that could have won a championship, had he stayed.
Yep.
Now you embracing him.
I am, because I have embraced the Clippers over the Lakers, and that is why. That is my motivation, if you want to know the truth.
We know the truth.
But I do believe that Jerry West and company will make a concerted effort, maybe a better effort than the Lakers, to acquire Marcus Morris because, again, for the very reason that he jilted San Antonio, that's what he's made of, as you point out.
Right.
He is his own man. Mm-hmm. And when he decides to do something, he just goes and does it. And by the way, he is having a career year. He's averaging 20 a game. This is all career high, 5 rebounds, but he's shooting 40% from 3. That's exactly the kind of player both teams could use.
That's the kind of player we need.
Yeah.
I mean, come on now. You want to? When they say L.A., you come to L.A., you can put a Clippers jersey on, or you can put a Lakers on. Now you do that.
And you know what? He can close.
Yeah.
He will take and make big 3-point shots.
And he'll try and dip, and then that's another defender that we can throw at Paul George, that you can throw at Kawhi.
Yep.
And that's what you need. You need bodies, because that's what the Clippers can do, Skip.
I agree.
They can throw Kawhi. They can throw Paul George. They can throw Harkless.
Yep.
They can throw all these guys at LeBron and try and wear him down.
Yep.
So we're going to get him.
Maybe he'll be a Clipper.
We're going to get him. I got a feeling.
3 p.m.
I'm going to manifest this.
Is
I got
that
a feeling this is going to happen.
Write it out a couple times.
Marcus, you owe me. Go to the Clippers.
Put it in the universe.
Yeah.
He always wanted to play with LeBron.
Did he?
Yeah,
I never heard
that.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Well, wait a second. If Rich Paul jilted him, then maybe
Rich Paul didn't jilt him.
Yes, he did. He said, "I'm out. I quit.
You have to.
I fire you."
You know, you have to, Skip. I mean, you can't do that, Skip. You can't have your class.
I got it.
Because Rich Paul gave them his word.
Yep.
That's Rich Paul word on the line.
Marcus, do you want to play for Doc Rivers or Frank Vogel?
Oh, Frankie V.
Frank Vogel?
How you put it there? Not very convincing.
He goes by Vogues.
I do love Doc. I mean,
I do
it's
too.
hard
I like that too.
It's hard to.
Yep.
I love that guy.
But
I
you
love
know-
when he's been on our show.
But you know the guys that come on in the preseason, Skip, they know. Remember Honey Badger came on before the season.
Yep.
They won the title.
Oh, so you're saying
So what?
that Doc has a good.
No, we had the Kyle Kuzma came on.
Oh.
So we go with the title.
We had Doc on.
Yeah, we
don't
did.
count. You got to be a player.
Don't count.
You gotta be a player, so
You gotta be a
gotta
player.
know
You
rules.
gotta be a player.
No mercy.
Well, remember when I picked the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl? That happened. And yesterday, the Chiefs had their Super Bowl parade in Kansas City, and the team was confident this wouldn't be their last championship celebration. In addition to Travis Kelce's WWE-style antics, Andy Reid said, quote, "We're coming right back here," and that there was an urgency that they felt to make it happen. So, Shannon, do you like that Andy Reid said that?
I love it. And you know why he said it, Skip? Because he has something that no other team in the NFL has. He has the best player in the world, and he's 24. So you can talk big. I mean, why you think Phil Jackson was doing all that? Talking about he the Zen master. No, you had Michael Jordan. Oh, yeah, then you had Kobe and you had Shaq. So you could talk and say all that meditation and all you want to because it didn't matter. Andy Reid knows I have something you don't. I got Patrick Mahomes, the best quarterback in football. And that should be the expectation. Now, Mike Shanahan, our coach, Skip, after we won the first one, he wasn't that vocal. He didn't say anything outside. But I remember the first meeting that we got back together for mini camp in May. He said, we know what the expectations are. He says, if you want to be special, we got to go do this thing again. He said, there's a lot of teams that's won one in a row. Now, let me tell you what happened with us. We went back to back. We got 5 guys off that team in Canton. That's how you become special. Patrick Mahomes understands that. Andy Reid understands that. This is a young team, Skip. Now, I believe they'll get Sammy Watkins to come back on a reduced rate. When I say reduced, he's got a $21 million cap here. I think $13, $14 million is doable. Get him back. They got Tyreek. They got Kelsey. Skip, this team is built to have a nice little 3-4 year run. Everything is predicated on the quarterback staying healthy, which I believe.
How many Canton-bound players do you see on the Chiefs right now?
Right now, Mahomes, Kelsey for sure.
Yep. I'll give you that. Not sure about Tyreek.
I was going to ask him about Tyreek.
Yeah, right. Yeah, he's going to have to put some. He got a little sketchy. He got a little sketchy.
Okay, so
got a little sketchy.
He's got some stuff
Mitchell
going.
Schwartz, is he one? I don't know. He's playing great.
It's hard, Skip. If you don't make but one Pro Bowl, you're not an all-decade player.
But they are young, you said. So
Honey Badger.
Honey Badger.
Yeah, we'll see. But we know Kelsey got 4 straight years of 1,000. No tight end has ever done that. He's the preeminent player. He and Kittle will be the preeminent players moving forward. So I believe him and Mahomes. But Skip, they have all the makings. They have a young football team. They have an outstanding quarterback. And as long as they don't read too many press clippings now. Because, you start to read that, you start,
Confident?
You don't get to automatically get right back to Tampa. You got to start all back over again. But I don't have a problem with that. What you said that robe Kelsey had on? I ordered me one. That old Louis, that old LV, that thing cost 18 grand.
What?
I got me one.
You
ordered
not.
You one?
Yep.
Just off seeing him wearing one?
Well, I saw Flo.
Is that jealousy?
Yeah, I was jealous. I can't let no tight end upstage O'Shea.
Really? But you're way better than he is.
No. I'm going to come out here with my robe on, Kelsey.
Yeah, I'm just
shotgun me a couple
Can you
beers.
please come out with that robe on? That is not.
Did I need you to throw me one of them core light?
He didn't win the Super Bowl. You're acting like you were celebrating.
I did.
You also picked the other team.
I would celebrate for the ones that I did win that I did celebrate.
Okay.
So
Let's get that robe out of here.
let me get this straight. He picked the 49ers
Yes.
to win. He picked Jimmy G to be the MVP, but he is celebrating for those KC Chiefs because he loves him some Mahomes boy.
I do.
So, as I predicted about your prediction, you actually did the can't lose prediction because you could still claim Mahomes if he won.
You did
then
call
you
it.
could claim San Francisco and Jimmy G if they won.
Yeah.
You could
I
do it
already claimed Jimmy G, but 49ers would have won.
You saw right through it, Skip.
So I also was ahead of this curve, so I'm going to double down today.
What happened?
Last week, I was already sick and tired of the Chiefs, and now I'm sicker and tireder of the Chiefs because they are really smelling themselves.
Yeah, they're feeling good.
They are spilling over with supreme self-confidence that borders on arrogance. And it's hard for me to swallow, so I had to turn off the parade.
Really?
Oh, so you turned it off.
Yeah,
You don't want to listen to it.
I don't need any LV robes or anything. I don't need
It's not your stuff?
No, I don't need it. But the point is, I was shocked Andy Reid said that. That is when you are really, you've gone completely over the edge into Winnersville. You think that the heavens have opened and you're just going to win a bunch of these in a row. And what did you just say as we open this show? It's not that easy.
It ain't.
Just for him to say, oh, we'll be back next year. I don't know about that.
Well, you know where you get that from. Pat Riley started this in the 80s when he said, we're going to repeat. Remember, Pat Riley copyrighted three-peat.
He did.
That's Pat Riley saying. And because Pat felt like, hold on, we got something y'all don't got. We got the best player. We got Magic Johnson. So, yeah, we're going to be right back. Now, Boston was right over there, but that ain't got nothing to do with us. The Twin Towers had burst onto the scene, but Pat Riley said we're coming back.
Okay, but they had Magic and Kareem and Worthy, and we can keep going right on down the line,
Byron
right?
Scott.
And Byron Scott. It's just so much firepower that he knew,
right,
barring injury, they should do that.
Right.
And basketball is different than football because only 5 can play at once. So if you have 3 Hall of Famers out of 5 starters,
right,
you're going to be dominating. You're going to be a dynasty.
Up there. You know they can go. They're going to probably add a piece in free agency. They're going to draft. They have the Skip. You know, in football, if you got that guy that's pulling the trigger every single play, you got a chance. That's all you can really hope for.
Okay, so now we've heard once again from a mic'd up Patrick Mahomes on the sideline.
What did he say?
Well, we heard him first against the Texans say almost the same thing when they were down 24-0, and now the other night before what became the game-winning drive, we heard this.
Hey, it's gonna be special. They're gonna talk about this forever, baby. They're gonna talk about this forever. It's gonna be special. They're gonna talk about it forever, baby. If we keep rolling, it's gonna be special.
Okay.
He ain't lie. No lie detector. That got my lie meter on. No lie detector.
I cannot take it away from him because he backed it up.
Yes.
Right after that, they went 7 plays, 65 yards for what became the game-winning touchdown with 2:44 left in the game to the guy who should have been the MVP, to Damian Williams, who made the play at the pylon that was iffy, but they said he broke the plane.
You know what? This is Jenny. I don't know if people, like you say, you figured it out. Like he said, okay, you picked San Francisco, so if they win, you can say, see, I told you, but you can still root for my homeboy. Why you wanted Damian Williams to win that MVP is because, see, you could hold Tom Brady won the MVP in his first Super Bowl, but you can't do that because my guy got that award. He got the shiny thing, don't he, Skip Bayless?
Well, Tom Brady did win the MVP in his first
with 140 yards in a tube.
Wait, he had a game-winning drive.
He did too.
In the last minute.
He did too.
His was finished with 2:44 left in the game, and his should have been canceled by a Jimmy G who airmailed Emmanuel Sanders by 5 yards on 3rd and 10, which should have been a touchdown. If you know it, and I know it, and we'd be having a whole different conversation.
If you don't mind me asking, how much time was left on the clock in 14 when the Patriots overtook the Seahawks? Because if I'm not mistaken, it was like 4 or 5 minutes left in the ball game, Jenny. And Tom Brady got credit for a game-winning drive. So I don't want to hear anything.
That's just called a game-winning fourth-quarter drive. Okay. It wasn't a last-minute drive. But if we don't have enough time on the show for me to start listing last-minute drives by Tom Brady.
All I'm saying is that's what Mahomes had, a game-winning 4-quarter drive. And they said nothing about no last minute. I said game-winning.
And by the way, just for the record, his game-winning drives against the Texans, that one came with 44 seconds left in the first half.
That's what we do.
In the first half.
End it.
It's 24-0, and all of a sudden at halftime, they're ahead. Okay? And against the Tennessee Titans, the game-winning drive came on that bogus 27-yard touchdown run. And guess what? There were 11 seconds left in the first half. That's the game-winning drive.
Yes.
Okay, so you did something special, but you didn't do something last-second special, last-minute special. You did it last 3-minute special because 2:44 remained in the Super Bowl when you did that.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give you that.
Okay.
But I'm going to step back and I'm going to say, gee, both you guys were really lucky because none of that would have happened if not for that 3rd and 15 play on the previous drive that cut it to 2017.
But you make it
and it had about half luck involved in it because he's about to get sacked by DeForest Buckner, and he just throws a punt up, and Tyreek had to stop and come back and catch it.
But see,
that's one of those 50-50 balls. If the 49ers play the defense right, it ain't happening.
Well, maybe Jimmy G should have done that and made Emmanuel Sanders wait up, and the DB runs over him, and they get a spot
But
foul.
he didn't because he's Jimmy G.
Okay, we got Patrick Mahomes, boy.
All right.
And you saw Bill O'Brien on the sideline of that last touchdown waving the white flag. It's over.
Okay.
We give up.
He gave up, and then Vrabel comes out and tries a 3-man rush against my homeboy. And then Kyle Shanahan goes Atlanta, and somehow says, I'm going to quit running the ball after we have 109 yards rushing through the first 3 quarters, and I'm going to put the ball in the game in the hands of Jimmy G.
You know what I noticed, Skip Bayless? I've been noticing this about you. You did not have a problem with Mike Vrabel and Dean Pease, who's the defensive coordinator, when they played the Patriots. You did not have a problem with that game plan when they went to Baltimore and beat and shut down Lamar Jackson. You had no problem.
No.
But you only had a problem when my homeboy, they had him down and he lit him up. But he lit up everybody.
They didn't rush 3 against New England and against Baltimore. That was like a new twist, a new way to attack Patrick Mahomes by playing 8 in coverage.
They say this is the first time Elias. So Elias, but I got one, Cornelius. That's who I trusted for my stats and information. Cornelius, my homeboy. Elias and Cornelius said Patrick Mahomes is the first quarterback in NFL history to have 5 double-digit come-from-behind victory in a single season. Yeah, Baylor, that's what Cornelius and Elias said.
The only Cornelius I know is from Soul Train.
So my homeboy Cornelius, that's what he said.
Yeah, Cornelius.
That's where I get my info from, Jenny.
Oh, it is.
So I just want to remind Andy Reid, he got every break, and it's usually this way. Usually the NFL gods say, let there be Chiefs. That's what happens because Miami went to New England the last regular season game and pulled off a shocker, and it changed everything because the Patriots are poised to be the 2 seed, and all of a sudden Kansas City's the 2 seed?
And they got beat at home. So what would it have changed? They first game, they got the boot.
Okay, but then Tennessee goes and eliminates New England, and then Tennessee goes and shocks Baltimore, the number 1 seed. I don't think Kansas City is better than Baltimore, but Andy can say, we'll be right back here next year because it happened, and he's full of it.
But they would have had a lot of confidence because they had beaten Baltimore early in the year. Remember, they beat Baltimore the year before. So they feel supremely confident that they could beat this team.
At Baltimore.
Yes.
Remember, they didn't beat them at Baltimore, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so.
But Skip, when you got my homeboy, you take your show on the road.
Okay.
When you got a good show, guess what you do? You travel. That's what P.T. Barnum did, Skip. That's what the circus did. They didn't make you come to it. It came to you.
Yeah.
So will you get to play Kyle Shanahan in next year's Super Bowl? Will you get to watch him just shut it down and say, I think I'm going to throw it for you?
I tell you who we won't be seeing him play in the Super Bowl. A team out of Dallas.
Oh, is that what
Speaking
you're
of
going
that
to say?
team.
Speaking of those Cowboys, they always find a way.
No mercy.
Dak Prescott and the Cowboys have yet to get a deal done, and Dak has now made it clear that he is frustrated. The expectation is that the Cowboys will franchise tag Dak if they can't get a deal done by March 10th. So, Skip,
yes.
How worried are you about this impasse in the Dak negotiations?
More worried by the day and the night, and nobody knows better than the man across from me that nobody loves Dak Prescott more than I do, because I drive you crazy with my Dak love on a daily basis.
I know.
You do?
Yeah.
But the more that I read about this, the more that I hear about this, the worse it gets. Now Dak is threatening to miss the offseason program with a new head coach. I do not love that.
Nope.
And now I'm hearing from my sources that the agent is overplaying his hand because the agent is worried about how big the new cap will be and then how big the new CBA in another year will be, which could quickly render whatever deal they take right now that's on the table obsolete.
Correct.
So I'm conflicted about that. I feel strongly both ways because I get where they are. It's at an impasse, and it's hard for me to believe that they're going to resolve this quickly. I hope they do. I think they might, but I'm not sure.
Right.
So this hit me like a bolt of lightning last night. Who is the one quarterback that inspires more awe in me than Dak Prescott? Well, that's easy. Yeah. It's the GOAT.
Mahomes?
No, it's Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr. Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr. is the GOAT of GOATs. He's 6 Super Bowls out of 9. He should have won a couple of more.
No, he should have lost a couple more.
No, he should have won the first Eli, and he should have won 505 yards record passing, and Belichick gives up 41 to Nick Foles. Should have won that Super Bowl. But the point is, it occurred to me last night, nothing has ever happened like this in the history of this league. I don't know if people are processing this, but The GOAT is available. Now, I still think the GOAT has 2 high-quality Pro Bowl caliber years left in that body of his. And obviously, because of nutrition and various forms of exercise and pliability, whatever you want, you can play a little longer today than you could in Joe Montana's time.
Okay.
He wound up getting traded to Kansas City and played 2 pretty good to very good years for the Chiefs. They made the playoffs and went all the way AFC Championship game and lost to Buffalo the first time. And then the second time, he played pretty well, but he was 9-5 in his starts. They were 9-7 overall, and they missed the playoffs, and that was the end of Joe Montana.
Right.
I think Tom can play even better than that at this stage in age. So I'm thinking, wait a second. My team is on the verge. Fox Bet has my team with the 8th best odds to reach next year's Super Bowl, but I'm seeing other books as high as 4th best odds to get to the Super Bowl. So I think even you would agree they got a shot.
Yes,
I mean, they got
yeah.
a young on the verge team. It was sorely, supremely disappointing this year. It went 8-8. And so I kept thinking, as much as I love Dak, they went 8-8. Well, what if Tom Brady said to Jerry, I'm interested? What if Jerry thought, gee, I could get Tom Brady for maybe even slightly less than I'm going to have to pay Dak for 5 years, for 2 years?
Okay.
What if I could pay him, I don't know, 33-ish, whatever that figure is,
Okay.
which by Brady's standards would be, he's the most he ever made was last year, 23, so he'd be happy with 33, but it's not going to break the Cowboy bank. And if you could sign him just for 2 more years, you'd say, wait a second, would he not be happy with that offensive line and with Zeke and with the receiving core and blah, blah, blah? It's all there. The pieces are there. And again, Tom Brady would be the biggest star the Dallas Cowboys have ever had. The team with the star on its helmet would have the biggest star ever, yet this star has so little ego that he would not mind Jerry Jones hogging the spotlight on a daily, nightly basis. He doesn't care. He sort of stays out of the way and studies tape, right? So it would be a great fit. The problem would be you would just have to cut bait with Dak Prescott. And then after 2 years, you maximize your chances. Can you win a Super Bowl in 2 years? Maybe. But if you don't, you're starting over. And you'd have to try to draft another young quarterback, hope you found another 4th rounder, fall out of heaven, Dak Prescott. Yeah. And you'd have to let Dak go elsewhere. And you'd have to risk him coming back to haunt you, which he well might. But to me, if this thing is at such an ugly impasse that he's going to miss a bunch of the offseason program or even hold out through training camp, I don't love it to the point that I would love to see Tom Brady finish as a Dallas Cowboy. I already made the case that the perfect fit would be for him to go home and play for the 49ers. But they're going to have to cut bait with Jimmy G, which they can do. It would actually be beneficial for them after the couple of years with Jimmy G. They can get out from under his deal very easily. Well, Cowboys could get out from under Dak. They could just say, see you later, right?
They can do that right now.
They could.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Skip, they're playing a dangerous game, and I told you they're playing this dangerous game. Because here's the thing, while you said, you said Dak is not worth this and you give him F, what is Steven and Jerry Jones continuously saying? He's our franchise guy, he's our guy. Okay, when it comes to paying our guy, you're trying to give him less than our guy money. Dak says, no, I've given you a discount the first 4 years of my career. When I made over 4 years, I made $2 million. I'm not giving you a discount the first one. Now, maybe the next go around, that should be my choice, Skip. Look, if I want to come to my employer and say, you know what, in order to, for you to get Karen in HR, I'm going to take a discount. But don't you bring that to me. Let me take that to you. If Dak says, Jerry, Steven, look, I'll work with you guys, no problem. That should be Dak's choice, not Jerry and Steven's choice. And what you're playing this game because you're making him feel like, you said it, Kirk Cousins kept getting franchise tagged because you said they didn't believe in him. Obviously, if you don't believe in the guy, I want you to show me one more time if you're the real deal. Dak said, I've shown you for 4 years. I won Rookie of the Year. I won 2 NFC East titles. I won a playoff game. Yep. If you haven't seen it, you won't be seeing it.
Okay, so it's getting uglier by the minute.
Yeah,
for every reason you just made.
I love it.
It's all wrong for kind of the right reasons on both sides. Because Jerry's willing to pay top dollar today in 2020, but where they're stuck is 21, 22, 23, because Todd France, the agent, is saying
he understands
the cap is going up. You got to pay this man huge dollars going forward. And Jerry's like, I do? We just went 8-8.
But here's the thing, though, Skip, because I think, if I'm not mistaken, now don't quote me on this, but I think the cap has gone up 30 to 40% over the last 5 years. What's the likelihood of the cap continuing to go up 30 to 40% over the next 5 years? So Dak signs a contract that's an eyesore. It looks good today, but in 2 years, it's an eyesore. See, Skip Bayless, Dak Prescott heard that Teddy Pendergrass song. If you don't know me by now, you will never know me. So he's like, I done put this on tape. I almost got you 5,000. I threw for 30 touchdowns. I've been Rookie of the Year. I won playoff games. Now I need you to pay me because Philly, no questions, no discount, pay walking to him. The Rams, no discount, no questions, pay Jared Goff.
Does Shannon Sharpe believe in Dak Prescott?
I believe Dak.
You do not.
Money.
You do not believe in him.
Skip, it's Jerry. Jerry could have.
Be honest.
Skip.
Be real.
Jerry could have rented
this.
Keep
it 1,000. Keep
Dak
it 1,000. You don't believe
Dak
in it.
deserves money.
Yeah.
Skip. What has he done? What hasn't he done that Wentz has gotten? Because he saw what they got, Skip. It's going to take more. Look at the cap. The cap continues to go up. Jerry just Skip. And this notion, well, if you play quarterback for the Cowboys, if you don't mind me asking, Skip, where do all those 70 Steelers live? In Pittsburgh. Where does Jim Kelly still stay? In Buffalo. If you are a quarterback, regardless, Dallas, Philly, it doesn't matter. If you are a quarterback, you're going to get top dollar. If you're a top player, if you live in the city that you played, you're going to have opportunities. So this notion that Dallas Cowboy players are the only ones that have opportunities after football is not true.
What if Jerry Jones quietly was giving Dak the same number of Fs you gave him for, 10 or 12 performances? What if he very quietly, F. What's Jerry supposed to think right now? Todd France is saying we want the sun and the moon.
Yeah.
Or I should say the moon and the sun, right? What's Jerry supposed to say? Because at some point, he has the responsibility of safeguarding the future of the franchise. You can't just give away the next 5 years.
No, I'll tell you what, see, here's the thing. And you're going to make this mistake, and somebody's going to make this mistake. You're gonna mortgage 1 year for Tom Brady, and then what do? Because there have been, remember the Cowboys, Skip? Y'all won a Super Bowl, so would you like to win a Super Bowl right now and then have the next 30 years in purgatory? That's the question you're going to have to ask yourself.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Okay.
I will, because I've been in purgatory for 30, so I might as well take one Super Bowl. No, seriously. What have we been talking about all day? It's hard to get there.
It is.
And it's way harder to get back there.
But you say you believe you got your guy. You say that's your man.
Yeah, but who's my ultimate man of men?
10 years ago.
Thomas Edward Patrick Brady.
I'm hearing this.
Okay,
I'm
but
shocked.
think about it.
I know.
Tom, it's like Michael Jordan in his prime is on the market. He's a free agent.
But Tom Brady ain't in his prime.
He is in his prime.
It's like when Michael Jordan went to Washington.
It's not,
I don't know if it's
not
that
like
bad.
that.
It's
It
like
is
that.
not like
Yes,
that.
it is.
You are so wrong about that. You just watch what's about to happen. All hell is about to break loose because there are a whole bunch of teams who are going to sit back and say, I could get Tom Brady for 2 years? I'll do it.
Okay.
I'll plunge. I'm just saying, if Jerry sees a conflict that has turned into an impasse that's going to be 6 or 8 months long, that's going to leak all the way into next year, where he's going to have a very unhappy camper on his hands if they tag him, what have you told me? It's no good. Yeah. It's a bad idea.
Franchise tag make enemies.
Okay?
Because
enemies.
Basically, you're telling the player you don't believe it.
I got
you
it.
Just see one more year.
Okay? So to me, with a team on the verge, I told you yesterday, there's not a player in the starting lineup except Jason Witten, who I don't think, God bless him, I don't think he's going to be back.
Coming back.
But
he wants
no,
to
he's
play.
not. He wants to play somewhere.
Yeah.
But there's not one who's even 30 years of age. There's talent everywhere. You know it and I know it. And Tom Brady would definitely look at it and say, I'll take it. 2 years, 33-odd million. Why not?
Why you won't get out of Dak?
Well, you would give it to Dak, but then he wants $40 million in the next 3 years.
Yeah, I want 100. I want 120 fully guaranteed.
Yeah,
That's what I want.
Okay. Well, that's you just want my team destroyed.
I don't want
that's
your
all
team
you
to
care about. So you have no objectivity.
I love how when you say Jerry is a business man. Okay. See, Dak says my talent isn't defined by your salary cap.
Man, think about this. If Tom Brady wore the star on his helmet, Would that not be must-see TV? Whew,
It's a crazy thought, Skip.
You do realize that Dak Prescott sometimes bails that offensive line out by being able to get out of harm's way.
Yep.
Now, you know Tom Brady ain't taking no hits, right?
Some of that.
On that turn.
I'm processing this idea.
Hey.
I can't believe it.
Pay Dak. Dak need to get paid.
Nobody in the history of this game, except maybe Peyton, has been better at audibling to a run than Tom Brady.
Okay.
And he has no ego about it whatsoever.
Why you don't want audible to the run? Zeke ain't the same guy. So, you get mad when the Dak audible to a run and they call a run, but now you want Tom to audible to a run because that running back is still the same.
Hey, seriously, do I think Dak is better than Tom Brady? I don't. I just
Right
don't.
now?
Right now, I don't.
Give me Dak. I'm taking Dak.
Okay, we're going to leave it at that for now because we are going to remain on Brady watch.
Well, take Dak to play checkers for you.
I'm taking Dak right now over Tom Brady right now.
Oh, stop.
Man, stop playing, Skip.
I have a feeling we're going to debate that at a different time when we have more time to do it.
Now you're a Dak fan?
Oh, no.
Wants to help him get paid.
No mercy.
The NBA trade deadline is today at 3 Eastern, and as we've heard, the Lakers and Clippers are in a, quote, arms race. Both teams were rumored to be interested in Andre Iguodala before he was dealt to Miami, and now each team has reportedly turned their attention to Knicks forward Marcus Morris. Fox Sports NBA analyst Rick Bucher joining us this morning. A good day to have you with us, Rick.
Morning.
Good morning.
All right, the deadline as it approaches, what are you hearing? What's the latest?
I would fully expect that Marcus Morris is going to be in LA by the end of the day, and I believe that he's going to be wearing a Lakers uniform.
A Lakers uniform?
Yes.
Oh.
Kyle Kuzma and Danny Green for Marcus Morris. The Clippers, the package that the Clippers have to offer with Landry Shamet, Mo Harkless, and Protected First is the better package, but they're not willing to let go of Landry Shamet. So at least at this stage. So if that doesn't happen, and with the news getting out there that Leon Rose is going to be the next team president of the Knicks, Kyle Kuzma happens to be a client, makes a lot of sense that he would be going along. So I would expect Danny Green and Kyle Kuzma out and Marcus Morris to be joining the Lakers, and you should be clapping because
I don't want to talk, Skip.
that is a nice pickup.
I don't want to talk, Skip.
But it would not be a nice give up because you're going to give up a guy I think is your closer.
Oh, stop it. That
I mean,
is premature.
I just want y'all to know, Rob Palinka, get him up. I'm a 14. I get ring size already. I'm going to get my ring size today.
Now, I will say this. I believe that the Clippers are going to add a player, too. Whether it's Thad Young from Chicago or another big. They want to bolster their front. But that Mo Harkless and first-round pick is very attractive, and I expect that they're going to add somebody. I don't know that it's going to be somebody quite as good as Marcus Morris. That would have been my choice, and I would have thrown Landry Shamet into the deal to make it happen.
Landry Shamet is really good.
He is really good offensively, and he's really good offensively. But he scares me defensively. And in the playoffs, can you put him on the floor and take advantage of that if he's going to be giving it up at the other end?
You know what that means, Skip, right?
What does it mean, Shannon?
Rick always bringing me good news. Man, that Rick, I can count on Rick. I was like, man, when I heard Rick gonna be on that, I said, man, something good gonna happen. I just knew it. I just had a feeling.
Don't jinx it.
Well, when Rick was here last summer in July, we all sort of agreed, boy, it sure feels like Kawhi is going to the Lakers, right? And that didn't happen, right?
Well, what we didn't know, what Rick and I didn't know at the time, is that old shyster, Kawhi Leonard, had already been talking to Paul George behind everybody's back, and Paul George came out there and told that story that, the team and I both agreed. No, he didn't. You called, who the general manager, Presti. You called Sam Presti and said you wanted to be traded to the Clippers. That's what happened, Rick. That's what happened. And he tried to make it seem like, we decided to mutually part ways. No, you didn't.
I told you earlier, I do like Marcus Morris. I just don't like him personally because he jilted my Spurs. We thought we had some sort of verbal agreement, and at the last second, he jerked the rug out from under us. And then Rich Paul jerked the rug right out from under him and basically said, I am no longer your agent. Am I right about that?
Yep.
So whatever drives him that way is what makes him a really good player because he's a 3-and-D guy. He can D you up. He will take and make big shots. I get that.
He ain't backing down from nobody.
He will back down from nobody. and he will help you, but losing Kyle Kuzma is going to hurt you.
No, it won't.
Yes, it will.
No, it won't.
He really didn't click or fit with LeBron and AD, but I still say you're not going to have a closer unless you tell me Marcus Morris is going to be your
LeBron
closer.
and AD, we got to worry about that. But you know what happens, Skip? When his former trainer said what he said.
I know.
And he
was burned.
Call a spade a spade.
Yeah.
Skip, Rick can't say something. I co-sign it, and then I turn around and say, well, I can't control what Rick said. I co-sign what he said.
Yeah.
So I'm agreeing with what he's saying.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So the trainer, was it a tweet? I forget what.
Yeah, it was a tweet.
Social media, story, right? Wasn't it on his Instagram story?
Yeah.
And he basically said that LeBron doesn't have the guts to guard Kawhi.
He
right?
said some people talk about being in the lab. Other guys are actually in the lab.
Okay, there you go. There's another one. Ooh.
You like that, but don't worry about it. Now you can do all that talking. Do all that talking from New York. We can't hear you. We don't have communication with New York.
Boy, they're going to love Kuz in the Big Apple.
I love that. I will love him there too. I want Eminem. Eminem.
What scares me is Kuz in the big city. How much is Kuz going to love being in New York?
Is it different
With
than
the
LA,
way that
though?
franchise, well, in LA created some problems for him too. I mean, neither is an ideal place for a young guy, especially in an unstructured situation.
Okay, he might have green hair tomorrow. He might have pink hair the next day. I don't know, but he can flat out shoot it. And when he gets rolling, there are very few who can roll the way he rolls.
It was another Landry Shamet situation because he ain't playing no D.
Last time we were here, though, we agree.
Yeah.
Clippers were still the team to beat in LA. And I still need to see who and what they add because I can tell you I was at the game last night with the Heat. The Heat are a quality team. And the Clippers basically decided third quarter, okay, we're going to turn it up. And they took them out.
They just dismantled it. I watched. It was unbelievable.
They're good, and they're going to get better. Now, I love this move for the Lakers. It's exactly what they needed.
I'll give you it's a good
We
move.
might win 65. We might win 68 games with this move. We might not lose but like 2 or 3 more games, Skip.
So you're admitting that as we sit right now, the Lakers aren't as good as the Clippers.
No, I admit that.
Yes, you did. I think you just did.
Hold on. Didn't San Antonio go on the road? San Antonio went on the road. They beat either the Bucks and Celtics or they beat Bucks, Celtics, and Toronto. They beat a combination of 2 of those 3.
I think you're thinking of last year.
No, I'm talking about this year. They did do that, right? So is San Antonio a good team? And you saw old Go James what he did? He started. I had that Chris go out here yesterday, Rick. You missed it. He started cooking with them threes.
We had a celebration.
Wait a second. They're
Clearly
22 and 28. They're 25th in three-point makes allowed. They're 24th in all overall defensive efficiency.
Yeah.
They are a shell of what they used to be.
Hold on. They're still San Antonio.
Oh, they're not.
Yes,
Just
they are.
in Jersey only.
And guess what? 3 of those losses, the 28, it would be 25 if they hadn't played us 3 times, because we got 3 of those on their resume.
You know what Ernestine says almost every night that we're sitting watching the Spurs, my wife Ernestine? She sees Tim Duncan sitting next to Pop on the bench, and she says, "Just suit him up." No, seriously. Like, why could he just go out and play for a half?
We saw Tim Duncan this last year. Okay. We saw that last year. You remember in the playoffs? It didn't. But don't worry about it. We got
take him.
We got this right here. The Lakers. We got us a championship.
So that's it.
I wonder if they use K or they use Johnston's. To my ring, I'm a 14.
This is my only regret in knowing that this is going to happen, is he's going to be insufferable for
Yeah, thank you, Rick. Appreciate that.
Now, you know what? I get upset. I get offended when people say, Shannon's become insufferable since he's been on TV with Skip Bayless. I say, you a lie. I've always been insufferable. Ever since I can remember, I've been insufferable.
Just wasn't on display until now.
Now that I come on TV, now he become insufferable. I say, well, guess what? I've always been this way. And Skip, I'm telling you, when we win that title, you talk about.
I don't know if I want to be here for that day.
I thought it was over when they beat San Antonio.
We get Mars. I may be at every game.
So Marcus Morris is the reason you're going to win the championship. Really?
Over the top.
Over the top.
Over the top.
Now, this isn't a done deal yet. Just want to remind you, 3 p.m. Eastern.
It's not, but I would expect
It's 90% done. Rick said it's 90% done.
Well, Rick knows
Your
more
concern
than me.
your concern, quite honestly, is Anthony Davis. I mean, this is the other part. LeBron and AD have to be what they have been for the remainder of the year through June.
Yes.
You lose any bit of either one of those guys, and this thing comes apart in a hurry.
Yeah.
And
they got to give you 50-55 on a nightly basis.
And that's a concern. That is a legitimate concern about their health.
And you've mentioned that.
I have.
Yeah, but
Wait a second.
What?
If old Frankie V, as you call him,
right
Frank
here.
Vogel, if he doesn't play Marcus at least 20 minutes a night, because he's been a star in New York.
He coming in the starting lineup off the rim.
All right. Well, you better, because if you don't, if you try to bring him off the bench, play him 12 minutes a night, he's going to...
Can you imagine them easy 3 looks he going to be getting with Bron? Because you know Bron get you the easiest 3s you can get.
I give you that. Yeah.
Driving kick. Oh, man.
Yeah. KCP's going to be upset, man.
No,
He's gonna be upset.
No, we
He's
put
gonna
ego.
lose minutes.
No, we put egos. We put ego. The one thing that we do is that when you show up at El Segundo, or you show up at Staples, we leave all egos at home. We don't check them at the door, because see, if you check your ego at the door, you might run back and get it when nobody's looking. So we make you leave your ego at home. Only 2 people get to bring their egos. AD 3 and 23. Everybody else leave it home. Okay?
Well, all I know is Danny Green isn't going to win this year's championship, right?
Then you know that. I'm gonna miss Danny.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna show
Danny.
miss Danny Green.
Well,
He's
at
a New
least-
York guy.
Hey, he's a Long Island guy.
yeah.
That could-
Close to home.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
nice
Way to go,
to know.
Danny.
And Marcus should be in LA. He strikes me as an LA type of guy.
Does he?
Yep.
I didn't see him that way, but whatever you say.
No mercy.
The Rockets made a huge move yesterday ahead of the NBA trade deadline. Houston sent center Clint Capella to the Hawks and received Robert Covington as part of a massive 4-team trade. The Rockets have been leaning towards smaller lineups focused on shooting and were 10-1 in games that Capella missed this season. So, Rick, are the Rockets better or worse after this trade?
They are worse because they don't have any size whatsoever now, but Daryl Morey assured me yesterday that this is not the end of their deals. They will make another deal. And what's happened with big men in the league at this point is that they're like running backs in the NFL. You need one. You have to have a quality one, but you don't want to have to pay a premium price for them. What happened with Clint Capella is they paid him in order to keep him as an asset, but they saw him in the playoffs last year, and he came up small. And they realized then he's not going to be able to live up to this contract. So it was a matter of flipping him out. You also are under new ownership with Tillman Fertitta. They always, new ownership comes in, they want to get the books right, they want things to be tight. So this was as much a financial move as anything else, but I would not expect that they are planning. Everybody's thinking, they're taking small ball to a new level. Right. That's not the plan. They will add another big, maybe on a low contract, may not be a big name, a Jacob Pirtle type guy, but there are a couple of guys out there that they can add as rim runners.
The Jacob Pirtle that tried to check in the game the other day with a T-shirt on, just a black T-shirt.
That would be the same.
That's your guy, Skip. I know that ain't Pirtle. They actually tried to check into a game with just his black T-shirt, not the jersey. Oh, good luck with it.
I worked out with him in Las Vegas last summer.
I liked that
Picture
pic.
with him.
Well,
he's twice as tall
He's
as
a
I
big
am.
guy.
He's 7 feet 1 inch tall.
He's a pretty big guy.
He must be thought he was still working out, not going into an NBA game. That might explain why you're 22 and 28.
You know what?
That explains.
He's actually a really good guy.
nice?
And he made a little mistake, and he took it very well. And he was a little sheepish about it, but he just trotted right to the locker room, got his jersey. It happens. It's okay.
I wonder if that ever happened to LeBron or Magic or Kobe.
Well, we're not putting Pirtle in that category.
Hold on. You got a jersey. That's like me running into the game. Okay, I'm in the huddle. All right, what's the play? Shannon, where's your helmet? Oh, let me just go back to the locker room and get my helmet. Really,
So you never had one embarrassing moment in your life?
No.
I don't know about that. I think we can pull the tape.
This trade it made him worse, Skip. Because, look, even if you do get one of those guys, what is that guy going to do with Jokic? You know, that's what you got to deal with. Anthony Davis, because Gobert doesn't have the offensive skill set, but he's 7'2", and if PJ Tucker is behind him, he gonna average 30 and 20. I get it. Well, we're gonna shoot 3, but what happens, Skip? It's great. If they're gonna make 23s a night, they're gonna be hell to deal with. But what's the likelihood of them making 23s a night? Not very good. And even when Golden State played that small ball, what teams tried to do was what? Pound them inside. And that's what big teams are gonna do. Pound them inside. Look, it sounds good. Oh, yeah, they go yada, yada. No, stop it. They didn't get better with this trade, and I get why they wanted to do it. They wanted to tighten the books up. But I just don't see it. It feels like a desperation move to me because they obviously thought trading Chris Paul, that seems like at best case a push because they have the same record. Did I miss something, Skip? I didn't think so.
Rick Bucher has once again enlightened me because if this, in the end, as you say, was a financially driven move, then it's a give-up move. Because every time you make a financial move, you're just basically saying, this isn't for basketball purposes, this is for book purposes, right? You want to get the books right, you're not going to get the outcome right.
Well, Rob being the luxury tax giver, we're not going to win the title.
Okay. So you're just an also-ran then. You're just saying we're fun to watch, but we're going nowhere slowly, basically, right?
Yeah.
And I have enjoyed watching James and Russ play together. I have, and I watch them a lot because there's only one man in the world who could coexist with Russell Westbrook, and that's James Harden. And there's only one man in the world who could coexist with Russell Westbrook, and that's James Harden because they grew up together, basically, and then they grew up in the NBA together in Oklahoma City. And they do defer to each other. In fact, James is deferring like crazy to Russ on a nightly basis. So I've enjoyed that. And I thought it had a chance. But obviously, two men alone are going nowhere in the Western Conference. Yeah. You're going to have some firepower around them. And I do like Covington. He is your basic 3-and-D guy, and they are going to shoot threes. He's been making 2.3 a game for the T-Wolves. Well, now he's going to get to shoot a whole bunch of threes.
Yeah.
So he's a good piece. He's a good fit for them. Makes their defense a little better. But now, I thought D'Antoni just wanted to say, watch this. I'll recreate 05, 06 Phoenix, with Steve Nash as the center of my universe. It'll be James. And we'll just play a bunch of medium-sized guys the way they used to play. They had Amari, who was 6'10".
6'10".
So that.
And when they needed Skip, even when
he
they
was kind of a small 6'10". He played small.
But the thing was, Skip, when they needed a bucket, they can dump him down on the box. And he can go get you a bucket. Because remember, he was first team All-NBA. Who's the guy that you can dump the ball down to on the box? Tyson Chandler?
So they had Sean Marion, they had Joe Johnson, they had Quentin Richardson, and Steve Nash. So it was really good. And they got to the conference finals.
And you know what happened? Robert Ory robbed him of a title because he shoved that man. And they ran onto the court and they suspended Amari. For a game, Skip. You know that cost him.
Spurs won the championship again.
Rick, you know that was wrong. David Stern, that was wrong with that, Skip.
Stu Jackson was the head of officiating at that time. And I told him, I said, there's correct and there's fair. By the letter of the law, they were correct. They stepped off the bench. It wasn't fair because Ory did chuck Steve Nash into the scorer's table. And as a result, the Suns paid the greater price because of that. Now, with the Rockets, you're both right in that it is a bit of a concession, but they knew who they were. With Capella, it wasn't as if they were going to go anywhere. So they decided, and we can't go and get a guy who's going to compete with Jokic anyway. So let's go the other direction. Let's play extreme small ball and get our books right and fight for another day. And see where we go, see what happens with injuries, see what happens with matchups. Maybe we don't have to play one of those teams that has a big lineup, but it was a concession of sorts.
Okay, but there is mad science going on here because you keep saying, what are they going to do with Jokic? What are they going to do with Gobert? What are those guys going to do with them? Because you're going to have to go guard somebody at the three-point line.
I like my chances with Gobert. I like my chances with Jokic and AD on the block, shooting 55, 60%, as opposed to you making 50% of your threes.
Is 3 better than 2?
It is if you make them. Have we not seen James Harden go 1 for 20? Have we not seen Russ go 2 for 18 from the 3?
Have we not seen James Harden go 19 or 20 from the free throw line on a nightly basis?
And we see him be this tall in the playoffs, too. Remember? You remember what happened when Kawhi got hurt in San Antonio and he didn't play?
Tony Parker got hurt. He wasn't playing.
Okay, I was just checking.
And we won by 70 points.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just checking. So
yeah, and they're still looking for James Harden after that game.
Still looking?
But I know a couple of guys that ain't got that problem, though. And they're purple and gold.
Well, I'll give you this. They got height. I don't know what it matters, but they got height.
I know. That's
tall. You can't teach tall, right?
We got
That's all you're going to give them?
Yeah.
As long as we got the best player
I'll
in the
give
NBA.
you. You're really tall.
If you got the best player in the NBA, you got a chance.
Yeah.
You got the best player in football, you got a chance.
Yeah.
You got the fastest man in the world on the relay, you got a chance. Usain Bolt. So the Jamaicans were never out of a relay.
Yep. I give you. LeBron is really tall. He's 6'9".
We got to go.
Yeah.
25, 11, and 7.
Really?
That's what we do. In year 17. Can you believe that? I can't.
Yeah, he
Act
can
like
really
he-
dance up on stage with Bad Bunny.
Yeah,
I've never
he-
seen anything
He's
like it.
got a couple more things going for
He
him. But
danced
that
on
wasn't
San
a good
Antonio.
look.
Yeah.
Oh, Pop to my, get off him. Get off him. He said, come here, Pop. Back up.
Found a way. Rick,
That's
thank
it.
you.
It's over. That's it.
We appreciate Rick being here on a busy day.
No mercy.
Welcome back to Undisputed. We are now joined by Rob Parker.
Hi,
Good
Rob.
to have you with us.
What's happening? Good morning. How's everybody?
Everyone's good. A lot is happening, though, Rob.
Yep.
So earlier in the show, we talked about the fact that the 49ers were out partying all night after losing the Super Bowl. Skip gave us some interesting context about the evening. He had a conversation with Lil Wayne, so could you elaborate a bit more?
I will. Rob, my friend Lil Wayne texted me yesterday to alert me to this situation, and he made it clear that he was just fine if we discussed it here on today's Undisputed. He said the 49ers booked him to play their party right after Sunday night Super Bowl, of course, in Miami, and that they paid in full price for a full show. And TMZ reported that full show turned into a, quote, all-out rager that was lit.
Wow.
But Wayne said he stopped his show that he remembered 3 times to sort of half-jokingly make sure that the crowd was aware y'all lost the Super Bowl.
Because they were having such a good time, right? That they're like,
and he wanted to make sure that they were okay with his continuing the all-out rager. And he said they were more than okay. And in his text, Wayne said he was very surprised by the 49ers' reaction to losing a Super Bowl, that they were in position to win. They didn't get blown out 49-0.
Skip, you're
they
being,
should have won
you're
the
being
game.
nice. They
They're
choked
up
down.
20
Can you
to
say
10.
that? They choked down?
The coach choked down.
Okay.
So Wayne wrote to me about the 49ers. They clearly had a, quote, let's not worry too much about it, unquote, attitude about the game. They truly believe they'll be back. The confidence, it was scary, wrote Wayne to me. And he continued, I also got to speak to Kyle, as in Shanahan, one-on-one. And you could see he wasn't hurt or upset, but he was mad as hell. And that's the energy of someone who feels like Super Bowl 55 next year is going to be marked on a calendar that's posted on his bedroom ceiling, so it's the last thought before he goes to sleep and the first sight when he wakes up. So I started off the show by asking the Hall of Famer across me, who played in 3 Super Bowls, he won all 3 of his, but he did lose 5 playoff games. If he had a problem with the 49ers' reaction, do you have a problem?
I'm not playing both sides of the fence because I don't believe in that. You know that. I don't think I would have been in a partying mood, me personally, had we coughed up a Super Bowl. You could lose one where you're not even in it and they're way better than you and you just accept it like this wasn't our night. They were in this position to win that Super Bowl and choked it down.
Okay.
I would have had a hard time enjoying myself. I get it. People have their families and friends and all these other people
It's already booked and paid.
It's already booked and paid for. The booze are there.
Yeah.
The music's there. Everybody's not going to go back into your room and console you, the rest of the night. I get it. But I would have had that Super Bowl, the way it went down, would have been hard for me, even with Lil Wayne performing, to be that into a party after such a loss. So I don't think I would have been able to do it, and everybody reacts to things differently.
Sure.
The one thing that did click to me a little bit, and Skip, you remember this, everybody reacts to stuff. I can remember the day my mom died. I worked that day on the show and didn't tell anybody until after the show. But I knew for me, being at, you know what I mean? Like not doing it wouldn't have worked for me.
Right. Yeah.
So for other people, I can respect them. If they feel like they want to dance the night away in their sorrows, fine. But I don't think I would have been interested in doing that.
Wayne was hearing yesterday that a lot of people were starting to have negative feelings about just what a bad look it was for the 49ers. Would you concur with that?
A little bit. And the whole notion that they're going to be there next year. I think that's totally ludicrous. You know, things happen.
So hard to do.
It's so hard to do. You'll look at a team and go, oh, yeah, they'll be back. Really? Are you going to have that defense that they just had?
Right.
Are you going to have that next year? Never the same. You've been there.
And I remember, Skip, the night before the Super Bowl that when Coach Billick asked me to speak, and I told him to turn the lights up a little bit, I told the guys to look around.
Which Super Bowl, first or
the
second?
35, when I was in Baltimore.
Okay.
Oh, well, I'm sorry,
Yeah,
Baltimore.
Right.
Third one, yeah.
So I told him I told the guys to look around. I said, it'll never be like this again.
Yep.
I said, everybody that's in this room
Yes.
won't be here. Everybody that was in there partying, they won't be there next
They
year,
won't.
Skip. I remember losing to Jacksonville, and the reporter asked me, I said, man, I don't know if we'll get back to this situation again. We won't be in a better prime spot. We were in the playoffs with a home game.
Yes.
You don't know if you'll ever get back to that situation. I'm not gonna cast judgment on them. I'm not wired that way. I can't lose and celebrate. There's nothing to celebrate. I'm not happy. I understand. I appreciate Kyle having entertainment there. Had we won, I appreciate the food and my family. They can possibly enjoy it. Now, I know my sister's not going to enjoy it. She's going to go to her room because she worse loser than I am. But, Skip, I can't. I'm not wired like that. And so they could have had anybody. Anybody past the present musician. I'm going to my room because I don't want to talk. I don't do losing well. I'm hey, how you doing? Appreciate it. Yeah, everybody. But I'm going to my room, Skip. I can't. I mean,
I believe that. I don't see how you could feel good or.
Nah. I'm not like that.
So Kyle Shanahan, long been the biggest Lil Wayne fan, named his son, who's now I think 10 years of age, Carter, after Dwayne Michael Carter Jr., and I'm pretty sure he was the driving force behind this pre-Super Bowl booking of Lil Wayne.
Right.
But if I had been in charge of the 49ers, the way I would have couched it would be, I would send Wayne his check, whatever he wanted in full before. And I would have a contingency that if we lose, it's off.
Yeah.
That you just can't play. We'll still have a gathering.
For people who want to go eat and right now.
It's hard to go to restaurants after that.
Yeah.
Not with that many people.
No.
And it would also be it's almost becomes a place to commiserate.
Right.
Just to sit and talk quietly with your families or with your teammates about what just happened or didn't happen.
Right.
And yet, the idea of an all-out rager, it just rubs me, it hits me the wrong way.
You remember the Patriots?
Gronk.
When he
You
was
remember the
dancing
video
on
of
that
Gronk?
ankle.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, bro, whoa.
He looked like he didn't even play a football game if you remember the video of Gronk going crazy.
Okay, this is the Super Bowl that Brady did lose with the throw that you said.
Eli.
It was by the second Eli. Brady did miss the throw.
He missed the
Should have been
throw.
caught.
No, it shouldn't have.
Welker got two hands on the ball. This man puts it in his back pocket.
Welker had to twist and turn like he was playing, right? Yeah, no.
Whatever. I'll give you this for the sake of this discussion. It was the one he should have lost, but he had a shell of Gronkowski because he could barely walk.
Right.
But he was dancing up a storm that
And
night.
he's dancing after.
See, I got a problem with that.
I got a big problem with that. And by the way, that was captured on video, and that did not play well.
Right.
So in this case, I just know how I would have reacted to this. I don't even want to go.
No.
Let alone watch my man Wayne. I don't. This is the wrong place, wrong time.
And I'm going to say this. I'm not convinced. I thought when he blew the Super Bowl for Atlanta to the Patriots, if I was San Francisco, I said it that next day that if I'm the 49ers, I might have pulled that contract back because that was some of the worst play calling ever. And then here we go again. Now he's a part of Kyle Shanahan, two of the three historic blown Super Bowls at the end. I mean, two of them. And you could point to the coach and look and see what he was doing. Is there a problem? You were running the football all year. Did I miss something?
Yeah. Well, Skip and I, we talked about it all the time. As long as you don't make this Jimmy G versus Pat Mahomes, you'll be just fine. Make it your running game versus Patrick Mahomes. But for some reason, after that second interception, he's like, hey, Jimmy G, go show him what you got.
Okay, so I certainly appreciate Kyle's love for Lil Wayne.
Yes.
But it comes across to me like he couldn't wait to get to the after party to meet his idol because they hadn't met before. Wayne had sent him some posters and albums and whatnot for his son. But this is not the moment. You just blew the Super Bowl. This is not the moment to have a heart-to-heart with Wayne, a one-on-one.
But I mean, I'm Skip. I'm going home after losing the game in September, October. You actually think I'm going to celebrate? I'm going to be dancing? I'm going to be up there talking to somebody after losing the Super Bowl?
No.
And obviously, a number of the 49ers got up on stage with Wayne, so they're going Gronk. They're, okay.
I was like, hey.
I think your plan is the best. Like a contingency to really be like food and drink, light mellow music, pay Wayne for his time, but just you don't have to go through.
You have a reception. You got mad, so you know about the reception.
Right.
One of the parties called it off. Now, if it's my daughter and somebody calls it off, somebody go eat and drink.
The food you paid for.
Okay, then.
Right.
You paid for that.
Right.
But they come on with it then.
No, but the food and all that, you don't have to have the concert.
But it's going to be a different mood.
Yeah.
You're not going to be celebrating like a normal wedding.
Yeah, because I knew it was a mistake to begin with.
You are celebrating.
You're celebrating because you're happy if it fell through.
Champagne all around?
I attended the last Cowboys Super Bowl party because it was a long time ago. It was after the 95 season, the last one they played in and won.
You were still using a typewriter back then to write your column.
And as I walked in the door, it was Barry Switzer was the head coach, and he was greeting every player, and they were all like, they're already out of it. And he screamed to Michael Irvin, "Go win the party!" Because that's what they did. Go win the party. They win. That was his motto. Win the game, then go win the party.
I like that.
Well, they won it.
Yeah,
They won the party.
That's one guy you have to tell twice.
Hey, you got that right.
Go
He'd already
win
won
the
a couple of
party.
parties before he got to that party. I know.
Did any of it rub off on you, what they were partaking in? Skip? No.
But it was fun to watch because they were out of their minds, and you should be.
Yeah.
But they won.
Yeah.
And they won easily.
Yeah.
They won big.
I could imagine, having now, because like I said, when we just had a DJ. Right. So after the Super Bowl, Mike had a DJ. It's a good old time. But after a while, you sitting there, you looking around like, oh, man, okay. That's such and such wife. That's his sister. That's his mom.
Yep.
Man, let's go out and have a real party. And we get to the club, and there are Packers there. I'm like, why y'all here? You should be in your room crying.
Right, y'all should be crying.
Hey, let us, this is our time.
Okay, so I'm going to remind everyone, there's been a long history in this league of losing the Super Bowl and just falling on your face after it because it can take as much out of you as it can instill in you going forward because it's a huge impact on your psyche to lose this. There is absolutely no, in fact, there's a better guarantee you will not get back to it because starting with Seattle, last play of the game against Brady, they were just never the same after that.
Never the same.
They're still pretty good, but they're never that.
Nope.
That was the end of the Legion of Boom.
Yep.
And what happened to the Falcons after they blew 28-3?
They didn't come close to the playoffs.
Okay.
Not alone getting back to that game.
And nobody thought after they blew that, like, the Falcons would be back. They still got all their players. No, not after that. And this is a similar kind of loss.
A year ago, the Rams were the team. They got this. They're going to be a dynasty. They missed the playoffs.
And don't forget, they went into that game with, the fifth greatest offense in the history of the NFL and scored 3 points on an 80-yard field goal. I mean, that was about as close as they got to scoring.
Okay. It happens.
But the only thing I know for certain, I know the other one guy that's for sure going back. Don't we?
Wait a minute, who?
That's your guy?
1-5.
No, I'm not positive of that either.
You'll be positive.
Did you watch the first 3 quarters of that Super Bowl?
Yeah, that's a good
Come
question.
on now, stop it.
Yeah.
You realize
So what about the first 3? What about the first half of the Tennessee?
I'm just asking you. Lamar Jackson and the Ravens could have something to say in the AFC.
They will
forward.
have a lot
So
to
don't
say.
just check the box and think
check it.
Like he's going to go. I'll bet you right now that the Chiefs won't be in the Super Bowl now.
I
Take it
right now?
Take it.
Oh, okay. I'm telling you they won't.
There's no guarantee.
Oh, all right.
But when you got that guy,
okay.
I'm not a chance.
I'm not. He's a great player. I'm just saying it ain't a guarantee. You don't know what can happen.
Ain't no guarantee in sports.
Speaking of guarantees, I heard Andy Reid yesterday all but guaranteed they're going back. Wasn't that a guarantee?
Andy Reid, who it took 20, the first coach who coached 20 years in the NFL before he won his first Super Bowl, that coach is going back next year.
You wrote for a paper that's in a city that they've never been.
What are you talking about? Why are you ripping the Lions in Detroit?
Let the Chiefs enjoy it.
They got one playoff win since 1957.
Yes. So
and that was over Dallas.
That was the Dallas dynasty before it turned it. You remember that, Skip?
I was there.
At the Silver Dome.
I was there. It was Eric Kramer went crazy.
Hey, John Madden, that night, I was watching that game. I was not there. John Madden that night, after that game, said, you're watching the 2 teams of the 90s. The Lions and the Cowboys, you're going to hear a lot more from them in the next decade.
Well, you know, the running
and you
back
know
was
what?
for the Lions, it was Barry Sanders.
Right.
Yeah, I heard Barry retired early.
Yeah.
And so did Calvin Johnson.
Interesting. Rob, thank you. Thanks to Wayne as well.
Yes, for that
Inside
information.
Scoop.
Thank you,
He's
Wayne.
always keeping us in the
I partied with Wayne on Friday night.
He did.
We know.
Wow.
Yeah.
You have told us so
by the
many
way,
times.
he lost every debate all week on Undisputed, and then he went
Oh.
and partied.
And you went
got
partying?
on stage.
It's interesting how that happened.
No mercy.
The Cowboys are not only working on a new deal with Dak Prescott, but they're also trying to re-sign Pro Bowl receiver Amari Cooper. There has been speculation that if Dallas can't lock up the receiver, then he could end up with their NFC East rival, Philadelphia Eagles. So, Shannon, should Jerry Jones make Amari the highest paid receiver in the league to keep him in Dallas?
Skip, man, he got no choice. He's free. And this is the chance that you make. Can you imagine letting him go? Because you're basically saying our first round pick from 2 years ago, Skip, we let him go after 25 games.
Yep.
Because that's what you gave up to get him. You gave up a first round draft pick to get Amari Cooper. So they're almost handcuffed into keeping him because you said, others have said, you see how Dak took off once he got a number one receiver. So this is where you are. This is the bind that they placed themselves in.
Yep.
Because not only must you sign him, you still got Dak, that big contract that's looming over you, Skip. And what would be so hurtful is that not only would you lose him, you would lose him potentially to a division rival.
Yep.
So that's double the pain. Losing him is one thing, Skip. But how are you going to lose him to the Eagles? And you believe for the very foreseeable future, that's the team that you're going to have to probably beat. That's who you're going to go back and forth with to win that division. So, Skip, they're in a bind. You're going to have to overpay. You let a guy get to this at the end of his contract, you're going to have to pay him, and you're probably going to have to give him more than what they gave Mike Thomas.
So I'll say it again. Forgive me for this. I hate the Eagles. I just hate them. I've hated them since I was a little kid. I hate their colors, that earpy green that they wear. And I went to bed last night imagining Amari wearing number 19 in Earpy Eagle green. It just made me sick.
That was the image you went to bed to?
It cost me some sleep last night because that's just an awful look. Because I used to love Amari the way I used to love Zeke, the way I used to love DeMarcus Lawrence. But Amari let me down last year even more than Zeke and DeMarcus did. Because I just don't know what happened.
He really let you down to go to the Eagles.
That's what I'm saying. So now I'm between the proverbial rock and the hard place, because the harder place is him and the Eagles.
So
right?
you find yourself liking him a little more if he stays in Dallas, huh?
Because he was a rock a year before. And yet I can't get it out of my system what I witnessed last year, because the guy I loved who changed life in Dallas, because he did for Dak Prescott. What was the game that you lost your voice rooting for the opposing team in? It was the Jets. You were in Denver at a, what were you at?
In Tennessee. Yeah, we was Mr. B and Champs getting their Hall of Fame rings.
Oh, okay.
And you're up in a suite screaming your voice out for the New York Jets while you're at the Broncos game.
Yep, I was in the Bolden family suite.
And you came in here the next day and you're hoarse from it, like you had half a voice left. That's unbelievable.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, and yet what had happened was my team, when I least expected it, because I thought Sam Darnold, he'd had mono, okay, we got this.
He and Jenny was the same weight.
We got
130.
this one. Yeah.
Thanks.
Oh, my bad, 125. Jenny.
Yeah, let's go.
125.
Thank you. Keep on going down.
119.
Thank you, Skip.
Okay, there we go. And yet, Amari goes out for one play and shuts it down. I don't know what he's doing. He's on the sideline just standing there, and he looks okay.
Yeah.
And what do we always say? If you can put that uniform on and step on that football field, you got to play.
Yeah.
So my only hope to sort of rationalize what happened last year, was he really hurt all year?
Right.
Is it possible? I don't know what it was, because he was not listed hurt.
Right.
But was he? You speculated a couple times.
I think he had to be hurt. And Skip, I think for him, inconsistency has always been the knock on Amari Cooper. That's it. He's technically sound. He has very good hands. He has run after the catch. It's just his inconsistency. That's what drove Coach John Gruden crazy, because he'd go for 200.
I know for a fact. John didn't like his motor.
Yeah.
Because he's a softer player. He's a good young man. You know, he's almost too nice for his work.
And he doesn't work well with the type of coach that Gruden is. Gruden is a yeller. Gruden is a cursor. He's more soft-spoken, and you need to talk to him as such.
You can't shame him with profanity.
No.
You cannot.
Because you lose him, Skip.
You're going to lose him. And I think John lost him, and then he lost
John. I don't think John cared either.
No, he did not. And he got a first back
he got
for
a
him,
first
so
one.
he was happy.
Yeah.
And we were really happy because he just set it on fire down the stretch. And yet, then what happened at New England? I've just never seen anything like this. He just couldn't compete against Stephon Gilmore. Was he hurt? I don't know.
You hurt pride.
Hurt his pride.
Yeah.
You ever seen a Pro Bowl receiver take himself out of a game because he's getting shut down so badly by a corner?
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like it. Most guys would say, I'm going to fight, man.
And then Philly what took the cake.
Okay.
They say, no, you come sit with us. We want Gallup, we want Jason Witten, we want all the other guys out there because we got a better chance of getting it.
For the final 3 plays of a game that you still had a shot in, you're down 8, right? 17-9.
You got to touch down in the 2-pointer.
You do. I look up, and 19 is standing on the sidelines and looks just fine. And they said after Jason Garrett volunteered to the media after the game, no, that was on performance, meaning we thought the others could play better than he could play. Your Pro Bowl receiver just got yanked, benched down the stretch against the team that now reportedly would like to have him. Wonder what Philly thought of that. They pulled him?
He's like, go on and sit it out. We'll get you next year.
Okay. So I guess Arthega-Whiteside's going to have to give up number 19 to Amari, right? Because that's the kid from Stanford.
Oh, yeah, he get that up. He got to get that up.
He give it up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Get that up.
So we're back to the premise of this. I'm with you. Is he Michael Thomas? No.
He not Julio?
Is he Julio?
No.
Is he really good? He was in stretches last year. He was.
Right.
I think you got to make him the top paid receiver because the alternative is just too painful.
Yes.
The alternative is he could come back to haunt you twice a year for the Eagles, and he probably would.
And that's the thing, Skip, is that when you don't do these deals, you let a guy get the because here's the worst thing you can do, Skip, is let a guy go hear another team's sales pitch. Because you know they're going to pitch him real good. And they're going to pay him more money than you think he's worth, and then you're willing to go, and then you pay him just to keep him away. Because I believe then, Skip, that's all he needs. His agent just needs to say, we're going to Philly. And they're going to pay him. Because you got to keep him out of that green uniform you hate.
What color is it again? It's
Irpy. It's Irpy. Yeah. As in
green.
Vomity Irpy. That's what I'm talking about.
Nauseating.
Yes.
Oh, that's a new word for me.
Oh, you don't know that word?
Well, I do
Maybe
now.
It's an old school.
If you gonna really be Irpy if he goes to the Eagles. We don't walk into him. Not just think he gonna go to a quarterback. He go from Derek Carr to that to walk into him.
Yep. Going down.
We don't need an Irpy skip
Take a
around
step
here.
back.
That's a scary thought. I don't want it.
And yet he's got a new head coach who's been really good with weaponry. You know, Mike McCarthy, you give him an Amari, I think he could make Amari much happier than he was last year.
We know how to do with him. He need to go on the old Dougie P. Now, Dougie P gets you that rock.
Yeah. So here you go. You're just trying to destroy my team again, right?
Skip,
It's always a motive.
you said Jerry is a business man and he can make it happen. Okay, well, maybe instead of buying $250 million yachts, he could have saved some of that money, Jenny. He gave some of it to that, gave some of it to
Doesn't work
Amari.
that way.
That's what it's going to take in signing bonuses. It's going to take in total contracts. What he paid for that yacht, Dak and Amari about to get that.
Can you imagine Tom Brady throwing to Amari Cooper in Dallas, Texas? Can you imagine the look of that?
It don't matter.
Can you imagine the scoreboard, the fireworks? Tom Brady with the star on his helmet?
Doesn't matter. Guess what? Because Seattle's not going anywhere. Philly's not going anywhere. Green Bay isn't going anywhere. 49ers say we going to be back.
Yep.
Fur cousin, who y'all going to have to deal with, but y'all go there this year.
Thank you for throwing him in the mix.
Sounds like the NFC is wide open to me.
No, it ain't wide.
The AFC.
Too bad y'all ain't got a car on the road to enjoy this highway.
No mercy. The Browns introduced new general manager Andrew Berry yesterday. At 32 years old, Berry is the youngest GM in NFL history. And during his press conference, he said he had already spoken with Kareem Hunt and Odell Beckham Jr. about their respective offseason incidents. Take a listen.
Obviously, with Kareem, we've communicated our expectations for him moving forward. Look, we want guys who are going to be smart, tough, and accountable, both on and off the field. Kareem understands that, and we're looking forward to him, meshing with our culture moving forward. In terms of Odell, both of us have had really great conversations. He's one of the most talented receivers in the league, and we're happy to, we're certainly happy to have him here. But again, everybody's going to have to fit into our culture in terms of being smart, tough, and accountable, and both those guys know that.
All right, Shannon, will they listen to a 32-year-old GM with limited experience?
They haven't listened so far. I don't see why that would change. This is the second team for both of them, and somehow they still find a way to find themselves in this man's mouth, talking about them in a way that he shouldn't have to talk to them about. At some point in time, Skip, look, everybody says they're going to change, they're going to do the right thing. Kareem Hunt should be the last guy. Considering the opportunity that Cleveland presented him, he should be the last guy to run afoul and get in any trouble. Odell is going to be Odell. At some point in time, we are who we are. The saying is, we are what we repeatedly do, therefore it is not a singular act, it is a habit. Okay, what have we seen? This is what's going to... Let me tell you how GMs and coaches get people's attention. Cut somebody, release somebody that the team don't think that's cuttable. And then you'll get their attention. But as long as Jimmy Haslam on the team, ain't nothing changing. He's still in charge. I wish this young man much success. But you're dealing with guys that Odell, everybody's like, Odell's going to change. I want to see it. Because there's no doubting his talent, but I just want to see him behave in a manner that I think he should conduct, the way I believe he should conduct himself.
So I was pleasantly surprised to see an African-American executive to get hired, because we have way too few of those, just as we have way too few head coaches. Obviously, you came up with Ozzie Smith, the great tight end. I'm sorry, Ozzie Smith, Ozzie Newsome, and he is retired. So we start to lose one by one.
One of the best to ever do it.
One of the best to ever do it. And now we come to a 32-year-old Andrew Berry. And my first thought last night after I watched that clip we just watched was, I thought of you, and I thought, will black players be more comfortable with a black executive, more comfortable talking, more open? Will they listen?
No.
No. Okay?
Ask Mike Tomlin how that worked out with Antonio Brown. How'd that work out, Skip?
Yep, good point.
More times than not, how'd that work out with Marvin Lewis in Cincinnati? Those black players, that worked out really well for him. More times than not, they take advantage of that.
In fact, that was the knock on Marvin, that they did take advantage of that. Okay? So I look at the background of one Andrew Berry, and he has worked for 3 NFL franchises, but he went to Harvard. He did not play sports at Harvard, and he got a bachelor's in economics, and then he got his master's from Harvard in computer science. That's his background. He is an analytics guy.
Okay.
And he's going to do it more with the computer than his experience playing the game, right? So he was hired in part by another guy who's still running this franchise, Paul DePodesta, who I got to know when he was with the Oakland A's in baseball under Billy Beane, the great Billy Beane.
Okay.
And that inspired a movie called Moneyball, in which Brad Pitt played Billy Beane, and there was a Paul DePodesta character played sort of by Jonah Hill. So it wasn't exactly, it was kind of a composite of Paul, but it was Paul in the end. So that's how big a deal he was there. And Paul also went to Harvard, but he played football and baseball at Harvard for what it's worth, but he did have some college sports background. Okay, so here comes a young man who's been with the Colts for a little while. He was with the Browns for a brief time, and then with the Eagles in sort of player personnel, but he's doing it more with the numbers than with the eye test, right? Right. So is that the right guy to lead the franchise? And if I'm Odell, the Odell that I think I know, I'm a little wary of this guy because he's not going to get it.
Right. Because at the end of the day, Skip, it's all about commanding the guy's respect.
That's correct.
And how much respect is Odell going to have for this gentleman? Considering, like you said, I don't, like you said, he didn't play sports, or this is his first time as being a GM. You look at least see when Ozzie You know, you look at his resume, Skip. I mean, he got Ray Lewis and he got Ed Reed. They're not only first ballot Hall of Famers, they're all Centennial players.
Yeah.
Then he had Jonathan Ogden, who's a first ballot Hall of Famer. And he got Suggs, who's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
So you look at his resume, you're like, okay, yeah. It was just something. Ozzie just knew
how about Lamar Jackson?
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
There you go.
And Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
So there's something Ozzie just knew how to talk to people, Skip. Look, I know him very well, talk to him. I mean, he's like a brother to me. But it's just the way he talked. And he commanded respect. As simple as that. He commanded respect.
But he was a great player.
He was a great player. So
and
hopefully...
he played at Alabama.
He played at Alabama under Coach Bryant.
You got college and pro, huge respect.
Hopefully, Skip, they give the guy an opportunity. Because I feel bad for the Cleveland fans because they show up every year and say, this is going to be our year. And it ends up not being their year, and they show up and they show up. It's time for them to have something really to cheer about.
I'd say. But in the end, the buck stops on that owner's desk.
Oh, yeah, he's terrible.
And all these franchises they're completely dependent upon the decisions initially made by Jimmy Haslam or his wife, the ownership, right? Mm-hmm. And it trickles down because they pick these people, and then these people make decisions based on being chosen by the owner.
But do they pick the name out of a hat or something?
Maybe.
Because it looks like Jimmy Haslam has no rhyme or reason for who he hires and why he hires them, and therefore it's so easy for him to get up off them, Skip.
Okay, and just a year ago, or heck, 8 months ago, John Dorsey was like executive of the year, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
He had picked Baker Mayfield.
Right.
He's like the complete opposite of Andrew Berry. He's old school, like good old boy type, right?
Watch the tape.
Watch the tape, right? And John Dorsey picks Baker Mayfield, and then he just shocks the world, and he goes and gets Odell, right? He pulls off the trade.
And he signed Jarvis.
And then name them. They made one
Jeff
move
the
after.
Chubb.
Yeah.
I mean, Jimmy Haslam, he probably still paying Mike Patton. He's still paying Skip Hugh. He gonna be paying what you call it for the foreseeable future, Freddie K.
Freddie.
I mean, guys,
Freddie K.
Freddie K. Guys ain't even on the payroll. I mean, normally owners don't want to have to pay somebody that's not working for you. Jimmy Haslam got 3 guys still on the payroll.
So I'm afraid for Andrew's position right now that these two players, especially in Odell, they're just kind of rolling their eyes like, what has he done exactly to tell me that I got to be, what were his words about, you got to be smart, tough, and accountable.
Right, both on and off the field.
Yes.
All right, it's a tough job. We're going to be watching.
Yes.
We continue to watch for the Browns. I think we actually agree we'd like to see them have some success.
A little bit, not too much, because Baltimore.
Okay, fair enough for you.
No mercy.
LeBron is coming off one of his best shooting nights of the year when he drained 5 threes in a row in the fourth quarter against the Spurs on Tuesday. Now, the Lakers will play host to James Harden and Russell Westbrook tonight. LeBron is also coming off his record 39th Conference Player of the Month award, which we know Skip did not agree with.
Nope.
So, Shannon, what do you expect from LeBron tonight?
Because that's over 3 years of Conference Player of the Month. That's a long time. 3 years is a long time, right? Okay, but anyway.
Do those count like towards championships? If you win 8, you get a championship? Is that how it works? I don't think so.
I'm expecting high 20-point total, maybe flirt, maybe even go out with Miss Triple Dub. Because you remember last time without AD, when he had that glute injury, LeBron had 31, 12, and 5 rebounds without AD. So I'm thinking a very similar output with a similar result. Dub at the end of the night.
Really?
Yes.
Well, that's going way out on the limb because the Rockets just lost Capella.
What you mean lost? They traded him.
Well, I'm just saying he's out of the mix, and I don't know if Covington has even been able to practice. I doubt it. He'll be available.
It's basketball.
Okay.
You put the ball in the basket. You don't need practice to do that. You should be able to do it.
Well, speaking of putting the ball in the basket, I love it when LeBron hits one of his rare hot streaks from 3 because you know what sets up for the next night? 2 for 10 from 3. That is my prediction. LeBron will LeBrick 8 threes tonight.
2 cases for he get 5.
He falls in love. I'm not betting any cases.
Go with 2 cases, he get 5 threes. You say he gonna brick them.
5 threes?
He'll make 5 threes tonight for 2 cases.
1 case. I'll do it for 1.
I need 2, Skip.
Nope, I'll do 1.
Okay, I do 1 for 4. Because we're going to blow him out, and so he's going to be out of the
4? No, you got to have 5.
No, 4.
Yeah, I'll do one case for 5. Going once, twice.
No.
Okay.
No.
Because, I don't know, if Covington plays, at least they have another defender they can put on LeBron, because he'll bother LeBron a little bit.
He won't bother LeBron.
Although the best way to defend LeBron tonight is just to let him shoot. Just leave him alone at the three-point line.
If you do that, he'll make 8 of them.
Start getting shaky-handed, like, I don't
If you
know.
leave him alone at the 3, he'll make 8 of them.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll go 2 for 10.
What do you think? How many?
He's going to make at least 5 threes.
5 threes? Okay, I got one case on 5.
Nope.
Yep.
You done jinxed it.
Why? This is fun, no?
Yeah, I like
Triple dub. I see triple dub in the future tonight.
Well, could be.
With her a bet?
And a win.
Yep. Will you give me Houston an 8 for another case?
I give you Houston
8.
and nothing. No. Because we get the lead, LeBron gonna be out. LeBron only gonna play like 28 minutes.
Leads the NBA in fourth quarter shots attempted. He will try to stat pad like crazy.
We don't pad
in the
no
fourth
stat.
quarter.
We don't need to do all that.
If you come here celebrating tomorrow, I don't even know what I'm going to do. That is it for us. We'll be back tomorrow morning at 9:30 Eastern.
Thanks for listening to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm Jenny Taft. Join us again at the same time tomorrow morning, 9:30 Eastern. We'll see you then.
Fox Sports, one of one.